Raiders organization is based on a concept, an idea, greatness. For nearly 5 decades, Al Davis has blazed the trail in search of the ultimate objective, to win Super Bowls. A half-century in pursuit of the Lombardi Trophy has landed the game's most storied franchise in 14 championship games, 5 Super Bowls, winning 3 world titles.
The silver and black are back in the Super Bowl.
Through the years, memories have been created by playing in the league's greatest games with the sport's greatest players.
48. It's snapped, it's down, it's kicked.
He may have the distance, he's got the accuracy.
It is good. It's good.
Where were you when, and where will you be? Now entering its 50th season, the tale of the team of the decades continues. A half-century of highlights supplements a new beginning, a new era. Raiders football in 2009.
Welcome to the 50th season of Raiders football, coming to you from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, where the Oakland Raiders open up the 2009 preseason against the visiting Dallas Cowboys. Hello everyone, I'm JT the Brick, and if the end of last season was any indication of the future, there's going to be a lot of cheering coming from the Raider Nation, because to wrap up the season last year, the Raiders beat a Houston Texan team at the time that was on a 4-game winning streak before the last game of the year when they went to Tampa Bay, beat the Buccaneers on their home field, and knocked the Bucs out of postseason play. Since that moment, the Raiders' confidence level has been soaring.
You got a taste of what winning felt like, ending on such a good note. In years past, that wasn't really the case.
I don't remember the last time that we've been able to put back-to-back wins together, and to close out a season with it. And when we were able to do that with Houston and with Tampa Bay, it felt like sky's the limit.
These young and talented Raiders are ready to go, and so are we. Let's toss it to the voice of the silver and black, Greg Papa.
All right, JT, we are certainly ready to go up in the booth. Very excited about celebrating 5 decades of Raider excellence, the most winning team in the history of the American Football League. But we're also equally excited about the present and the future. The Raiders finished last year strong, and they think they have a very good chance to win the AFC West in 2009. But we are going to celebrate 5 decades. First, we bring in a guy representing the very first game in Oakland Raiders football. We bring in the 2-time winning head coach of the Raiders, Super Bowl winning head coach Tom Flores, who takes us back to July the 31st of 1960, the very first Raider preseason game ever, also against Dallas, but it was not the Dallas Cowboys that night.
No, it was the Dallas Texans, and we were playing in Kezar Stadium in front of about 6,000 people. And the film you see here was later when we were finally playing in Oakland. That's a pass to Clem Daniels, right over the middle for a touchdown, and this was a pass to Art Powell, the great receiver. Nice spiral by that quarterback.
Not bad. The early years were a little rough, but when Al Davis arrived in '63, the Raider franchise turned it all around. They won Super Bowl 11 as you were an assistant coach with John Madden. They won twice more, Super Bowls 15 and 18 with you as the head coach. And your quarterback was Jim Plunkett, who was going to talk a little about the modern-day Raiders, the MVP of Super Bowl 15, a former #1 draft pick in the NFL, yourself, and we're going to watch Jamarcus Russell, also a #1 pick of a couple of years ago, begin his second year as the Raider full-time starter tonight. But take me back to last year, what you saw from Jamarcus as he grew throughout the year and finished well. Those last 2 games were outstanding.
They certainly were, Pop. I thought he played extremely well, made some key plays during some drives during both those games against Houston and against Tampa Bay. There's Schilling's making a nice grab against Tampa. Another fine throw by Jamarcus there, staying in the pocket long enough to get the ball down the field. And I think everybody's excited to see just how well Jamarcus is going to play this year. He's worked very hard in the offseason. He's put a lot of time in a training camp, and everybody expects him to be a much better quarterback this year.
Well, the Raiders feel like if they can protect this young quarterback, he can make all the throws, and they have the young wide receivers. Tonight you will see Darius Hayward-Bay and Louis Murphy make their debuts in silver and black.
Welcome back inside the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum and to Oakland Raiders preseason football. Greg Papa, Jim Plunkett, Tom Flores up in the booth, JT the Brick and George Atkinson downstairs. Here are Wiener Schnitzel winning ways. A good test tonight against this Dallas Cowboy 34 defense. The Raiders will see 34 defenses throughout the season in the AFC West. They got to protect this young quarterback. They want to find a rhythm, Jim, with the young wide receivers, certainly, as Darius Hayward-Bay and Lewis Murphy figure to play a lot tonight. And they got to stop these trio of Dallas Cowboy running backs, Marion Barber, Felix Jones, and Tashard Choice. There's Tom Cable, who took over as the full-time head coach of the Raiders on February the 3rd. The Cowboys have won the toss. They won it first. Sebastian Janikowski, 22 touchbacks on the season a year ago to tie for second most in the NFL. Dropping back deep for the Dallas Cowboys, Isaiah Stanback, the former quarterback from the University of Washington. He's trying to be an impact player as a wide receiver, and also Tashard Choice has dropped back. You guys ready for a little preseason football?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this year.
Jim never was very loud. You know, he was kind of calm and quiet in the huddle and on the sideline.
Well, who's going to call the plays tonight? Once you get in there, Jim, and you call them yourself?
Tom and I will argue back and forth about who's going to call the plays.
Right.
Just like we did when we were playing.
I used to tell him, you can always wave my call off, but your call better work.
It better work. All right, Janikowski will kick it off, and we are underway from Oakland. Stand back at the goal line for the Cowboys, a yard deep. He's going to come right. Good coverage there by Ekajuba, and a flag comes down. Mike Carey, our referee. Isaiah Ekajuba made the Pro Bowl last year as an alternate as a special team star. This could be a hold on the Cowboys. Guys, they may have to begin this drive inside their 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's not a good start for the Cowboys. You know, they like long drives anyway, but that would be extremely long.
Mike Carey, our
during
referee.
the return, holding, receiving team number 23, half the distance to the goal, first down.
That was on Tashard Choice. There's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo. He threw for over 3,400 yards a year ago, missed 3 games with a broken pinky figure. Year before that, even better at 4,200 yards and 36 touchdowns. But the Cowboys flamed out last year. They lost that finale in Philadelphia 44-6, and they were not in the playoffs. Wound up at 9-7. They'll start from the 7-yard line after Janikowski's opening kickoff, which was brought to you by the International Truck. Miles ahead. Visit them today at internationaltruck.com. Wade Phillips in his 3rd year as the Cowboys head coach, the final year of his contract. And he's also taken over as the defensive coordinator. He's going to run that side of the ball like he has in years past. He's a very good defensive coordinator throughout his years. Cowboys will go 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line with an offset eye. Marion Barber is the tail of the eye. Romo's going to throw on 1st down. Ball deflected by Greg Ellis, the former Cowboy, and knocked to the ground on the goal line. Greg Ellis coming through from his left defensive end spot got in. And, you know, he's amped up to play his former team, the Dallas Cowboys. We check out the starting lineups brought to you by McDonald's. Greet the day with something delicious. It's easy with McDonald's breakfast menu. Price and participation may vary. A very big Dallas Cowboy offensive line. Flozell Adams, Kyle Koser, Andre Gerard, Leonard Davis, and Mark Colombo. Marion Barber will start. They'll also use Felix Jones and Tashard Choice. Roy Williams and Patrick Creighton are 2 wide receivers, with Terrell Owens released and now in Buffalo. 2nd and 10, Cowboys on the 7. Handoff to Marion Barber coming left. He is tripped up and dropped for a loss of a yard. Nnamdi Asomugha got in there to lead the Raider young and charged up defense. As we check out the Raider defensive front, Trevor Scott going to be a starter this year at right end with Tommy Kelly and Gerard Warren inside. Greg Ellis, the former Cowboy, makes his debut. Kirk Morrison will start at middle linebacker. Ricky Brown will move in later. Thomas Howard also there. Nnamdi Asomugha, the best cover corner in football, flanked by Chris Johnson. The secondary is Tyvon Branch and Hiram Eugene. Tony Romo will go on the shotgun here on 3rd down and 11. The Cowboys have 3 receivers in. Kirk Morrison pointing back at Romo, is saying Morrison may come on a blitz. They do. They also send Branch, a lob down the left sideline for Austin, overthrown and very well covered there by Nnamdi Asomugha. And the Cowboys go 3 and out. A great defensive stand to open the game.
Yeah, very impressive. Of course, didn't take long for Greg Ellis to make his mark by knocking down that first pass. And the Raiders in a lot of man-to-man coverage. Actually, they started the game, Greg, with 5 defensive backs on that very first play.
And one of the things on 2nd down, they were able to stop the run for no gain. And that's something the Raiders have really wanted to work on, in stopping the run.
Matt McBriar into punt. Johnny Lee Higgins, a Raider record with 3 taken back for scores a year ago on the dirt. Baseball infield that rolls past Johnny Lee Higgins. He misplayed the bounce and the flight of the ball, and with the roll, McBriar gets off a 62-yard punt. So he got a little lucky there. He hit it so low, Johnny Lee could not step up and take it in the air, and it bounced right by him.
Yeah, that was just a lucky bounce on his part. A poor kick turns into a big gain because of the poor kick in that dirt infield.
I wonder if Clay Wood, the head groundskeeper here, raked the infield for a football game. I saw a bad bounce there. Jamarcus Russell takes over after very good numbers last year as a first-year full-time starter, and he played very well his last 2 games. Last time he was in this stadium against the Houston Texans, he had arguably his best game as a pro. 1st and 10, Raiders on their own 32. Lone back is Fargas. Straight drop by Russell, 5 steps, throws right, catch made by Chaz Schillens. Very close to the Raider first down on the sticks on the 42-yard line. A pickup of 11 to Schillens. Alan Ball on the tackle for the Cowboys. The Raiders start Mario Henderson at left tackle. Chris Morris is in for Robert Gallery, who's out with a appendectomy. Samson Satelli, the new Raiders center, formerly of Miami, where he was a 2-year starter. Cooper Carlisle and Cornell Green on the line. Fargas will play sparingly. Lorenzo Neal, the longtime Charger, is the new fullback, and the young wide receiving core. Schillens with the catch a moment ago, and Darius Hayward-Bay. There's a handoff to Fargas, being led there by Lorenzo Neal, and a short gain of 3 yards there by Fargas. Igor Olshansky on the tackle for the Cowboys, along with their nose tackle, Jay Ratliff. Olshansky, a former Charger. They play a 3-4 front with Marcus Spears. DeMarcus Ware, one of the best defensive players in football. 20 quarterback sacks last year in the secondary. It is Hamlin and Sensabaugh. Terrence Newman and Mike Jenkins actually not started tonight because of injury. Alan Ball and Orlando Scandrick will start. There's DeMarcus Ware. There's a second down play coming up for Russell, going big ball down the left sideline for Hayward-Bay. Broke it up on the safety help over the top. That saved maybe a long one there. Ken Hamlin came over and knocked it in the air, and Hayward-Bay almost had a chance to catch the ricochet.
Yeah, he did. That ball was up in the air just long enough, and he almost came up with it, but there was a nice play by the safety coming over and help it out in the play.
And a pretty good throw by Jamarcus, just a little underthrown. Probably hasn't figured out just how fast Darius Hayward-Bay can get down that field.
So Ken Hamlin came over and knocked it away, but the Raiders go deep, and now they bring in Johnny Lee Higgins. 3 receivers in, 2 right, 1 left on 3rd and 8. Russell straight drop. Here comes DeMarcus Ware. Henderson holding him, but no call. DeMarcus flings one down the field for Schillens, and a flag comes down. A pass interference call on the Cowboys. It is on Gerald Sensabaugh. It'll be 1st and goal, Raiders on the 5-yard line. Mario Henderson got away with one of the Peard there, but DeMarcus Ware, no flag there, giving Russell time to get it down the field.
A nice time and buying some time. What do you think, Flunk?
Yeah, he got out of the pocket, a little pass rush pressure. He couldn't get enough on the ball.
Defense number 43. Spotted a foul, automatic. First down.
Chaz Schillens beat the defenders down the field, but he couldn't quite get it there, but instead got a pass interference play, big play anyway.
And that's a big reason why you throw it down the field anyway. Even if you don't complete it, you're likely, possibly going to get a pass interference call, and that's a 48-yard penalty. And we are going to have a timeout called here.
Timeout, Dallas. They're first.
Well, the Raiders went deep in back-to-back plays. One to Hayward-Bay, broken up. The play to Schillens, broken up, but Wade Phillips, safety, came over and commits a PI, and Wade's not very happy about it on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. NFL with the Chicago Bears, and in the AFL against Tom Flores. He was a Houston Oiler. You guys had a shootout one day.
Oh, we had a shootout. Yeah, we certainly did. 52-49.
And you won throwing 6, didn't you?
6 touchdowns. Yeah, he threw 5 that day.
You've combined for 11?
Yep.
1st and goal, Raiders on the Dallas 8-yard line. Fargas is to Russell's right in the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. They go to Schillens, the crossing route from the right, and he is tackled on the 1 or 2 yard line. Alan Ball on the tackle for the Cowboys. Boy, he is a big target, Jim. Chaz Schillens, who really began to emerge in camp last year, but did not get a lot of playing time until late in the season.
And what I liked about Jamarcus, he looked left, came right back to Chaz Schillens on that slant route, and hit him right on the numbers. I mean, that's what they're looking for, some consistency out of Jamarcus, making those throws just like he did right there.
And that's the development, the evolution of a young quarterback scanning the field. Raiders go into an eye. Lorenzo Neal on the lead play. Fargas goes airborne. A flag comes in, thrown by Mike Carey, the referee himself. This may be a hold on the Raiders on the interior front. Mike Carey His 20th season as an NFL official, his 15th as a referee. Anytime the referee throws it himself, it's likely offensive holding. Here's Mike.
Number 66. 10-yard penalty is still second down.
Called on Raider right guard Cooper Carlisle. So this 1st and goal, which was down to the 2-yard line, will now go outside the 10-yard line. A costly penalty here.
Yeah, costly in that area. You don't want to do anything on, you never want a penalty, a holding penalty, but especially on a running play. When you're in scoring territory, that's just cardinal sin.
And Pop, one of the things I used to do when we got down there in scoring territory was, number 1, keep your hands in. Number 2, listen to the snap count.
2nd down and goal. James from the 12-yard line, offset eye. Lorenzo Neal ahead of Fargas. Straight drop by Russell. Looks middle, now goes right flat to Neal. And he's wrapped up and dropped immediately, and he's going to lose some yardage there. Cowboys have a lot of team speed on this defense there. That is Anthony Spencer, who was there to make the tackle. Anthony Spencer, one of the linebackers who actually helped move Greg Ellis out of town. They drafted him to replace him. Also went on that tackle for the Cowboys. So now it is 3rd and goal. Back out to the 14-yard line. Raiders go 3 wide receivers. Darius Hayward-Bay and Chaz Schillens are Tom Cable starters tonight. Now Johnny Lee Higgins playing as a 3rd receiver comes in. Zach Miller lines up tight left. They send Higgins and Schillens into a slot left, and a DHB. Hayward-Bay being covered very loosely outright. Russell looks left, throws left. It is caught by Schillens, but shy of the goal line, dropped on the 4-yard line. It'll be 4th and goal from there, so the holding penalty on Cooper Carlisle will force the Raiders to bring in Janikowski for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, that changes the whole sequence of play calling when you're penalized and you have to back up, and the defense has a little bit of an advantage in that case. They went underneath to Schillens, and the one thing that's impressive about Jamarcus at this point is that he's not hesitating. He makes a decision, that ball's in the air right away.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. Good decision making by Jamarcus.
Sebastian Janikowski, a 23-yard field goal attempt. Let Condo snap down, and Janikowski, who passed George Blanda last year, incidentally, and became the all-time leading scorer in Raider history. He knocks it through from 23. 3-0 Raiders. 10:05 to go in the first quarter. This is the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, Raiders got Bo in 87, but in 1968, a memorable draft class. Kenny Stabler, Art Shell, Charlie Smith, and way down in round 7 out of Morris Brown, the Raiders got one of their greatest players of all time, George Atkinson, who joins us from field level. Hey, George.
Hey, Greg. And, 1968 was a good year, but, you look at the 50 years of Raider history, the commitment to excellence, the tradition that this team has built over 50 years. It has been an unbelievable ride for the Raider fans. You had great players come through here, and I had the privilege of playing with some of the greatest players in Raiders history. And if the next 50 is anything like the first 50, boy, the fans will be in for a treat, Greg.
And George was a great kick returner and punt returner. Isaiah Standback trying to make the conversion from collegiate quarterback to wide receiver. A nice return there of 27 yards. Todd Watkins, Raider wide receiver out of BYU, on the tackle. Well, it's hard to believe, huh, Tom? You were there for the very first game, July 31st of 1960, that it's been 50 years.
50 years. It's amazing. It's amazing. So many things have happened. Who would have thought that football would be as big as it is now? It's just unfathomable.
Of course, that was the very first year of the great American Football League, which changed the very nature of American sports. 1st and 10 Cowboys. There's a fake handoff to Barber. Roma going to roll right and throws. It is caught by the tight end. He breaks a tackle to Chris Johnson and runs out to the 35-yard line. That is Martellus Bennett, who was their second tight end behind the Pro Bowler Jason Witten. The Cowboys run a base double tight offense, so Bennett gets a lot of play, and he's a big guy. At 6'6", 266, he picks up 7 yards.
Yeah, there was no question. I don't even know who the defensive back was, but he just bounced off him like a little fly.
Did they have 266-pound tight ends in 1960, Tom?
Those guys were offensive linemen.
2nd and 3. Here's Barber breaking a tackle and running for a first down. Finally dropped by Thomas Howard, but not until he crosses the 40-yard line up to around the 43. This is Marion Barber III, the Barbarian, we might say. Do you play against his dad, Jim? He was a New York Giant. I think you did.
I did, way back when in the 80s.
Or New York Jet he played for, I think, right? In the 83 through 88. Pretty good player, but his son is built a little sturdier. Felix Jones now comes in. He is the tail of the eye. 1st and 10 Cowboys on their 44. 9 minutes to play in the opening quarter. 3-0 Raiders. Here's Romo. Nnamdi Asomugha, by the way, has left the game. Stanford Routt playing at right corner. They fake the handoff to Jones. Romo looking left and a lob one out there. Caught by Roy Williams for a Dallas first down. Covered by Stanford Routt. He is out on the Raider 44-yard line. A 12-yard out to Roy Williams, Tom, who becomes their go-to guy now that T.O. has been released and playing for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he has to come up and be their #1 guy because the rest of their receiver core is young and experienced and untested.
Miles Austin now comes in along with Patrick Creighton. Roy Williams, they gave up a lot to get him from Detroit. Big hole for Felix Jones. He pops outside left. Hiram Eugene going to shove him out. But Felix Jones, not only is he lightning fast, but tremendous size. He goes 220 pounds, and he can really burn. That's a 14-yard pickup on the runoff left tackle.
And the Raiders defense can't be real happy with what's going on right now. One of the things they've stressed all training camp is stop the run, and now they're giving up some pretty good chunks of yardage at a time.
Well, that was one of our Wiener Schnitzel keys to the game, Jim. The Raiders have got to improve their rush defense, and they're getting a good test tonight against Marion Barber, Felix Jones, and later we'll see Tashard Choice. 1st and 10 Cowboys. Play action by Romo to Jones. Throws down the middle. Overthrows. Almost intercepted. A flag comes in. Stanford Routt will be called for holding Roy Williams Jr. Hiram Eugene read that and almost intercepted it. But it was Stanford Routt. Now, is it going to be a hold or a pass interference, which would be the question?
No, it's going to be a hold. He was you had
before the pass, holding, defense number 26, 5-yard penalty, automatic.
Yeah, Roy Williams was trying to get an inside route on him, and in doing so, Routt held him. And he wouldn't let him get in, so that was a pretty obvious hold.
And sometimes you have to know where your help is coming from. He had a free safety behind him, could have let him run the in route, and being picked up by the safety.
Williams is a big guy, 6'3", 215 pounds. That's a 5-yard penalty is all. Here's an end around to Patrick Creighton, and he's going to go inside the 20-15, pushed out by Hiram Eugene. Tremendous ball handling there by Tony Romo, who was a terrific overall athlete, a great golfer. In fact, he almost won the celebrity tournament up in Lake Tahoe a couple of weeks ago, guys. This is a great play fake here. I wasn't even sure he gave the ball to Creighton or not.
No, he did a good job of hiding the ball on the handoff, and the Raider defense, everybody with the exception of one, went for the fake.
That is an underrated skill, Jim, isn't it? The way a quarterback can be so deft with those fakes.
Oh, it certainly is. Put a lot of pressure on that defense.
1st and 10, Cowboys on the Raider 12. He looks right, pumps. Here's a screen to Felix Jones. Thomas Howard will drop him, but not before Jones gets down to the Raider 3-yard line. Well, the Raider defense, largely aided by the kickoff by Janikowski, the great coverage of Ekajuba, pinned the Cowboys back and forced a 3 and out. But now on this second series of the game, guys, the Cowboys, with a nice mixture of throwing and running, have moved down inside the Raider 5-yard line.
They have a nice rhythm going, a good mixture with passive play action, fakes, a little reverse. That one was just an inside short screen.
This drive started on the Dallas 28-yard line. 1st and goal, Cowboys on the Raider 3. Raiders up 3-0. Jason Witten goes in motion left, comes back right wing. Handoff, Marion Barber up the middle. And he is going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. The Cowboy linemen think he got in, but they're going to say no. Marion Barber actually turned his back to the goal line a bit as the Raiders had some people there, Ricky Brown, to fill it, and he did not get in.
That's just a straight up the middle play by Marion Barber, trying to get in the into the end zone, but well played by the Raider defense. But one of the things, I haven't seen a lot of Tony Romo, in person, and I'm impressed with the way he handles himself down there, either by throwing the football or his play action passes.
Undrafted into the NFL, Jim, out of Eastern Illinois. Cowboys got him in 03, 6 years with Dallas. First 3 years didn't play hardly at all, but he has been a starter the last 2.5 years. Mike Carey is conversing with his head linesman who runs into Tony Romo. Raiders have never faced a Tony Romo team. Last time they faced the Cowboys in a regular season game in 2005, the Cowboy quarterback was Drew Bledsoe. And the Raiders won that game and battered it through Bledsoe. 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line for the Cowboys. They're inside the Raider 1. They go into an I formation with Marion Barber the tail. Double tights, handoff Barber off the right side. He hit a yard into the end zone. A flag does come down. A flag comes down late. Somebody's helmet was ripped off. It was Ricky Brown's. So we're going to assume this to be against the Cowboys.
Holding, offense number 63, 10-yard penalty.
It's on Kyle Kozer, the left guard, the former 49er. This happened to the Raiders inside the red zone when Cooper Carlisle was called for a hold, guys. This is going to push them out to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of those big mistakes that are just killers, because all of a sudden, instead of a touchdown, you're way back, and now your selection of plays all of a sudden is changed dramatically.
Ricky Brown had his helmet hit off. Actually, it was hit off by Jerome Boyd. It was friendly fire, one of his own teammates, but a clear hold there. First and goal on the 11. Barber dancing off the left side, will be dropped by Kirk Morrison on the Raider 8-yard line. So it is second down now. Why was that a first down? It was second and goal. That was wrong, wasn't it? It was second and goal from the 1-yard line. It should have been second down over again. They gave him first down over again. Not sure that's correct. It should be third down,
right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It was second and goal from the 1 when he dove in, so it would be second and goal from the 11. This should be third down. They have second down on the scoreboard. We'll go with that. On the sideline, the chain gang has second down. Tony Romo now going to back up into a shotgun. Kirk Morrison shows blitz. Michael Huff shows blitz. They don't come. They rush 3 and drop 8. Romo confused. Now going to rush out left throw. It is caught for a touchdown by Jason Witten. He just used his size, the big tight end there, to take it away from Stanford Routt. So the downs becomes a moot point as the Cowboys do get in, and he is a tremendous target.
Oh, way too much time, though, Greg. Way too much time. I mean, he stood back there. He pumped. He looked. He pumped. He couldn't find anybody. The Raiders going with just a 3-man rush. That's one thing I don't understand. He knew he was going to pass the ball.
They rushed 3, Jim, after showing a 5-man pressure. They dropped everybody into coverage.
Yeah, you'd think you'd at least want to rush 4 people, put a little pressure on the quarterback. Don't let him have all that kind of time to throw the football.
There's the point after by Nick Folk. An impressive drive there by the Cowboys. They had over 5 seconds to throw that ball. Tony Romo, when he found Jason Witten off a 71-yard drive. 7-3 Cowboys. 5:16 to go first quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Rod Martin, every time I see him, he tells me, I should have been the MVP of Super Bowl 15. I intercepted Jaws 3 times.
And he could have very well easily have been, but he wasn't.
No, you're richly deserving in that game, Jim. Jim Plunkett, the MVP of Super Bowl 15. Greg Papa joined by Jim, and also Tom Flores, an original Raider from 60, and the guy who has 4 Super Bowl rings, 3 with the Raiders, 1 as an assistant coach and 2 as the head coach. David Beeler, a rookie round 5 draft pick out of USC, has a tremendously strong leg. He had 94 touchbacks in his career, kicking for Pete Carroll and the Trojans. Justin Miller back on the Raider kickoff return team will step up and take it on the 4-yard line. Coming wide left now, 10, 15, cuts 20. Justin Miller had a couple of returns for a score in half a season as a Raider, and he is dropped on the Raider 21-yard line there. That is a 17-yard return by Justin Miller. The Raiders will start inside their 20 when we come back. 7-3 Cowboys, 5:09 to play in the opening quarter. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. And his combination of size and speed at 6'2", 210, and a 4.3 40 time. Jamarcus Russell is sacked back inside the 10-yard line. Tremendous pressure there by the middle linebacker, Keith Brooking, longtime Atlanta Falcon. Raiders have already gone deep to Darius Hayward-Bay once, Tom, and I think we may see that a few more times tonight. He figures to play the entire first half. Darius Hayward-Bay was the Raiders' first pick of the first round this year, the 7th overall selection. Mike Mitchell was the 2nd pick. Matt Shaughnessy was a 3rd-round pick. The guy they're really high on is Lewis Murphy, a 4th-round find, a 2-time NCAA champion playing for the Florida Gators. That was an 11-yard sack on Jamarcus, 2nd and 21. Hand off to McFadden, his first touch of the game. A big hole off the right side. And across the 20 goes McFadden. The Raiders round 1 pick from the 07 draft, or actually the 08 draft that would be, and a 13-yard pickup off the right side. Boy, he was fast on that one.
Yeah, the Cowboys expected maybe a pass. They had a little game going, a little twister going in the middle. Raiders area blocked that. Their area blocking scheme worked just perfect on that one.
Dallas Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s around an offense that was called the Triplets. Emmitt Smith, the running back, Michael Irvin, the receiver, and Troy Aikman, the quarterback. Well, the Raiders have a young trio they're high on with Darren McFadden, Jamarcus Russell, and Darius Hayward-Bay. 3rd down and 8. Russell out of the shotgun. Time, the Cowboys blitz. It's picked up, and a catch for a first down by Schillens out to the 38-yard line. And don't forget about Chaz Schillens, also tremendous size and speed at 6'4". What a catch that was, Jim.
Yeah, and one of the things that happens sometimes with a young quarterback and a young receiver is they work a lot together. Stands in the pocket under a blitz, throws it right on target. Chaz makes a great catch for the first down, but sometimes you hook up with a guy you kind of like during training camp, and you tend to throw the ball to that receiver more often than you do some of the other receivers.
So a sack on first down does not deter the Raiders on this drive. Here comes a Cowboy blitz, again walled off. Russell going to run across the line, 40, breaks a tackle, first down, Russell into Cowboy territory and steps out on the 43 of the Cowboys. A 17-yard scramble by the big quarterback.
Showed a little wiggle there, kind of a deceptive move, and just beating one of the linebackers. I think that was Anthony Spencer, and left him reaching out and grabbing grass.
Looked like Plunkett in his prime there.
Oh yeah, but sometimes those are things you just can't account for. You good pressure on the quarterback. He takes off and runs, picks up a first down.
Did you ever have a 17-yard run in your career, James?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look that up. Did Plunkett have a 17-yard run? 1st and 10. Raiders on the 43. Russell going to throw a lob down the left sideline. Hayward-Bay is double covered there. Again, the safety came over. Ken Hamlin, knowing that they're going to go deep to Darius Hayward-Bay. They've got him bracketed.
I can verify.
You saw
yeah, he was right here on this field. He was running for a touchdown and had run about 30 or 40 yards and pulled a hamstring. He was playing for New England.
Was that right?
You didn't have to mention the hamstring part. You could have said he ran for 30 or 40 yards.
Well, he did. He fell down.
But on that particular pass play by Jamarcus, he just looked the receiver down right away. The safety was able to take off and cover over the top. He's got to look that safety off a little bit better.
Sanjay Lale, the Raider wide receiver coach, talking to Darius Hayward-Bay on the sideline. 2nd and 10, and this one is whistled dead before the snap. The play clock did not go down, so this may be a false start on the Raiders.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
And a drop back. Seth Wand is checked into the game. Raiders re-signed him after losing.
Correction, 66.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not in yet. Mike Carey. Cooper Carlisle. That's the 2nd time Carlisle has been singled out. He held on the goal line. Now he false start. Seth Wand is 65, taking Barry Sims' old number, but he is not yet in the game. Kind of hard to false start when you're not in. 2nd and 15 Raiders. We have 2:54 to play in the opening quarter. Raiders a 23-yard field goal by Janikowski, went up 3-0. The Cowboys now lead 7-3. Pump and goal. Ball deflected and almost intercepted by Jay Ratliff. Jamarcus Russell pumped right, came back left and threw, and Ratliff, the big nose tackle at 6'4", got in and knocked the ball right out of his hand as he released it.
You got to be pretty tall and playing pretty tall to knock down one of Jamarcus's passes, but he did so. I think it looked like he was going to his secondary receiver, which in that case would have been Zach Miller.
That was a block shot, like a basketball jumper getting rejected there, Jim. But Jamarcus doing a nice job of looking right, coming back left, or vice versa. He's scanning the field much better.
Yeah, I think he's just getting better as the time goes on.
3rd and 15. Russell in the gun as McFadden to his right. Cowboys rush 4, break 3. There's a screen to McFadden, gets a block, and he was dropped shy of the first down, though, on the Cowboy 39-yard line. He picks up 9. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 6. So the Raiders are kind of in between territory here. We'll see what they do. And they are going to bring in Shane Leckler. And Shane Leckler, a 4-time Pro Bowler, will punt it away. Willie Reed, wide receiver, back to return for the Cowboys. The Raiders were able to re-sign Shane Leckler to a lucrative contract in the offseason, making him the highest paid punter in pro football. Good snap by Kondo. Leckler very adept at this, able to try to drop it inside the 10-yard line. Hiram Eugene, the gunner, is down. This will drop on the 5. Boy, he's so good at that. Shane Leckler did not need help from the Gunners. That ball came to a soft landing and a 34-yard no-return punt. 7-3 Cowboys, 1:50 to go on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Better Trades was just stealing Willie Brown away from the Denver Broncos before the 67 year. Willie Brown, the 3rd Raider to go in the Hall of Fame. He was inducted into Canton in 1984. And arguably the very best quarterback in the history of the league. 1st and 10 Cowboys on their 5. They're up 7-3. There's a handoff from John Kitna now into the game for the Dallas Cowboys. He hands off to Tashard Choice, the second-year back out of Georgia Tech. Tyvon Branch on the tackle for the Raiders, the good-looking strong safety out of the University of Connecticut. So that is it for Tony Romo tonight. He led the Cowboys to one touchdown drive, went 4 of 6, throwing for 36 yards at a score. And now they'll turn things over to John Kitna. Kitna, the veteran, former Seahawk and Bengal in last 3 years with Detroit. There's a handoff to Choice coming right. And he was dropped down the 10-yard line. That'll bring up a third down. Kirk Morrison playing the middle backer in on the tackle for the Raiders.
You know, and John Kitna is a guy who's been in the league for 13 years out of Central Washington. You know, I really, a lot of coaches didn't look too hard at John, but he's been in the league all those years, put up some big numbers. A few of his seasons with Seattle, Cincinnati, and with Detroit. You know, he's an ideal backup quarterback right now.
He takes the spot of Brad Johnson, who was the backup a year ago. John Kitna's played on some bad teams throughout his years, but I can remember one year when the Seahawks were in the AFC West. He led them to the division championship with a 9-7 record. 3rd and 5 late in the quarter. Kitna looking right, throws, caught by the tight end and pushed out shy of the first down. That is Martellus Bennett. Good coverage there by Tyvon Branch time.
Yeah, and to get back to Kitna, I mean, Kitna was with Cincinnati and made the Pro Bowl when they drafted Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
And the next year they had to do something because Carson Palmer was the #1. They gave him all this money, so that's why he had to leave Cincinnati, not because of his play.
I remember him having a great game here, almost beat the Raiders, and he threw it right to Philip Buchanan. And Buchanan ran around 85 yards back for a touchdown. That's when Phillip was the Raider punt returner. Now it's Johnny Lee Higgins. There's Matt McBriar into punt. He is standing about 3 yards deep in his end zone. Johnny Lee at the Raider 44-yard line. Short, spiraling punt taken by Higgins at midfield. He has room to go, and then he cuts back inside. Looked like he had more of an opening if he would have gone straight. A flag comes down here. See if this is against the Raiders. Higgins was dropped on the 43-yard line. Carey getting the call from his official here. Sam Hurd in on the tackle for the Cowboys, and we'll see. One of the officials, the field judge, took his hat off, so somebody must have stepped out of bounds.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 33, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Gradkowski's going to come in and quarterback the Raiders here this last play. Bruce Gradkowski, a veteran and a starter with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Raiders signed him in the offseason. Has been a difficult offseason for the Raider franchise. As Gradkowski hands off to McFadden coming left. He breaks a tackle. He may go. 30, 20, 10. He is pushed out of bounds inside the Cowboy 20-yard line. Boy, does he look quick. That could be the Golden Gate Fields run.
That's the end of the first quarter.
What a run there by Darren McFadden. Michael Hawkins able to miss that tackle there. 7-3. The Raiders down at the end of one quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Dangerous runner. One defenseman can't bring him down. I like the fact that his legs are always moving. He's always have forward momentum. He's not a side-to-side runner. He's a cut and slasher type runner, and he's good at what he does.
Well, Bo Jackson was pretty good at what he does as well. That's the great Bo talking about Darren McFadden, who takes the handoff on off the left side, and he's dropped on the Cowboy 14-yard line, guys. And you guys both know Bo Jackson. You see a little Bo and Darren McFadden here on his 45-yard run?
Well, Bo was about 230 pounds, and I don't know that anybody would have caught him. He would have probably run through that tackle, but that was pretty impressive because it didn't take McFadden very much time to get through that hole.
Darren McFadden's longest run as a rookie a year ago was a 50-yarder in Kansas City. He was held down last year with turf toe problems on both feet. And he looks certainly healthy. Orrin O'Neal, speaking of getting healthy, is in to be the lead blocking fullback. Gradkowski a fake left and a roll right, a low throw, but what a catch there by Schillens, who pops up before he was touched down and goes all the way to the 5-yard line. Incredible play there by Schillens, who went into a slide to make the catch. He was not touchdown by Mike Mickens. He popped back up and was able to run for about 8 more yards.
And that's what you like about this kid. You love about this kid, Jim. I mean, look at that. He has a presence of mind for only a second-year guy to get up and run. Nobody touched him.
Absolutely. You know, quick thinking on his part. Good catch. as Pop mentioned, dove to the ground, got back up before he was touched while he was on the ground, and made a big play out of it.
Not a bad 7th-round draft pick. A 226 selection in 08 out of San Diego State. Raiders have a 1st and goal. Here's a handoff to McFadden up the middle. McFadden powers down inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. Well, the Raiders are very young, very exciting right now, and very energized. You want to be a part of it all year. Raiders have ticket packages for you and luxury suites. You can call right now, 1-800-RAIDERS, or online at Raiders.com. Raiders certainly understand that we're in an economic crisis in the world and the nation and the Bay Area, but they have made ticket packages affordable for you. So make your call now and be with us when the Raiders open the 2009 year, September the 14th, at a Monday nighter against Sean Merriman and the Chargers. Russell yielding to Gretkowski. It throws for a touchdown. Little play action there, and Tony Stewart was wide open in the back of the end zone. Beautifully done there by Bruce Gretkowski, trying to win a 3rd spot on the roster as a quarterback behind Jamarcus Russell and Jeff Garcia, and this is a great fake here.
Yes, an excellent fake. A little Tony had just gone in motion, and he snuck out as if he was going to the flat area and then curled back over the middle, and he was wide open. Oh, I mean wide open.
And what I liked about that play as well is Gradowski's patience. He looked to the outside, nobody was there, and Stewart curled inside for the catch.
There's Janikowski for the point after, and the Raiders have the lead back. 10-7. The defensive back for the Cowboys slipped down there, and Bruce Gretkowski all of a sudden had a big tight end in the back of the end zone wide open. Not a bad opening series for Gretkowski. 10-7 Raiders on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
I like Al because he's an individual. I like him because he is so loyal. I like him because he's got a big heart. Most of all, I like his competitiveness. And I think over the years, he has made the Oakland Raiders, and his spirit has made, along with the help of a lot of great players, his spirit has made it one of the great, great assets of the National Football League and of the sports world. My hats off to Al Davis.
Jerry Jones, the owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Isaiah Stanback on the return across the 20, 25, and he's dropped it around the 29-yard line. We're going to hear more about Al Davis coming up at halftime. 2009 is a big year for Mr. Davis. He celebrated his 80th birthday on the 4th of July. And of course, he was on Sid Gilman's staff the very first year of this great American Football League's inception time back in 1960 with the L.A. Chargers.
L.A. Chargers playing in the L.A. Coliseum. You know that when you go back 50 years, in that 10-year history of the AFL, there's only about 20 of us that survived all 10 years. That's a pretty unique group.
The Great American Football League. 1st and 10, Dallas on the 29. The sharp choice off the right side has dropped it around the 30-yard line for a gain of a yard or two. Coming up at halftime, we are going to have a feature on Al Davis's impact on the American Football League and the NFL. He was on the first competition committee in the league with Tex Schramm, the architect of the great Cowboy teams. It was Al Davis, Tex Schramm, Paul Brown, and Vince Lombardi was on the very first NFL competition committee, and they helped shape the way the game is played today. And Mr. Davis also was instrumental in realigning after the merger to make sure there were 13 teams in both the AFL and the NFL. One time they wanted 16 NFL and only 10 in the AFL until Al stepped in. Here's a blitz by Ricky Brown up the middle, and John Kitten is going to go down. Jay Richardson will jump in, but that was a middle linebacker blitz there by Ricky Brown right in the A-gap, Jim, and John Ketna had nowhere to go.
And that's what the defensive players were talking about all training camp, the combination blitzes that John Marshall was putting together for them to get to the quarterback. And this is a perfect example. Good push up the middle by Ricky Brown. Ketna had no choice but to go down.
Raiders have gone to their second team defense now. Ricky Brown, who started the game at strong side linebacker, is now moving into the middle. Kirk Morrison has left the game. David Nixon is in, a rookie free agent out of BYU, was playing the weak side linebacker. He is playing well as well in training camp. 3rd and 18 for John Kitna out of a shotgun. Here's a screen out to Tashard Choice. Raiders have him surrounded, and it was getting over there. The speed of Slade Norris, the other linebacker on the field, who the Raiders drafted in the 4th round out of Oregon State. So the linebackers flying around on that series.
Yeah, the linebackers are all over the place. Played it well and made a good tackle in open field. The previous play, Slade had to cover a tight end, and he did it quite well. So you know, the transition, you know, he's been back and forth, defense up, down, up, down. He's doing a nice job as a linebacker.
Yeah, he played defensive end at Oregon State. Had 10 quarterback sacks as a senior and 9 more as a junior. There's Matt McBriar in the punt again for the Cowboys at the 20-yard line. Good punt. Johnny Lee Higgins going to backpedal inside the 15-yard line, out across the 20, and now he is surrounded and dropped back on the 20-yard line. Nice high punt there of 58 yards by Matt McBriar. Victor Butler on the tackle of Johnny Lee Higgins after a good return there of about 6. Raiders will start on their 20 when we come back, up 10-7, 11-13 to go in the half on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
This year we're talking about the legacy games. The Raiders are going to play in 4 legacy games this year where they're going to be wearing their throwback uniforms, and it's going to kick off Monday night, September 14th, against the San Diego Chargers. The 8 original AFL teams will wear their legacy uniforms, but the Raiders get 4 of those games. Get your tickets at 1-800-RAIDERS or Raiders.com. Greg?
JT, thank you. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett in the booth. JT and George Atkinson downstairs. Bruce Gratkowski throws an outcut there just wide to Lewis Murphy. A flag is in. A penalty is down around the line of scrimmage. Here's the look at the Raiders' legacy uniforms. Very sharp guys. They are going to wear these very uniforms on Monday night to open against San Diego.
10-yard penalty is still first down.
And that was the time the Raiders wore the white jerseys with the silver numerals, Tom.
Yeah. I'll tell you why they got away from those is because they were hard to see in those days in the night game. They were very hard to decipher who was wearing what on film. They were not very good. That's why they got away from them.
I think that's why they went to them, though, so the opponents couldn't tell who the heck the Raiders were, right?
Yeah, but I think the league made them. I don't know if the league made them change or not.
1st and 20 on the 12. Gratkowski, a slant route, a catch made, and a spin there by Darius Hayward-Bay. Darius Hayward-Bay with his first catch tonight. An 8-yarder that we all know about his great speed down the field. Tom running the 9 route, the go route, Jim, but he shows some power here on a slant, it looks like.
Well, he's a big target. He's not a little guy. You know, Jim's watched him more than I have in training camp, so he's got a better feel than I do.
You know, I think, you know, they're playing a little bit off. I think it was a perfect call in that situation. A little slant underneath. Get him wet, get him into the game.
2nd down and 12. Raiders on the 20. Hayward-Bay goes out wide right. Raiders false started, I believe, here. Michael Bush takes the handoff off the right side. A pre-snap penalty. Michael Bush really had a tremendous end of the season last year with the Raiders' great come-from-behind win in Tampa Bay on December the 28th. He had a breakout afternoon, scoring a couple of touchdowns and rushing for 177 yards. Mike Carey.
Offside defense, number 78. 5-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
Raiders did not false start. The Cowboys jumped offsides. Junior Siavi, a defensive lineman, a former Kansas City Chief out of Oregon, will give the Raiders 5 free yards. So now it's a much more manageable 2nd down and 7 for the Raiders on their 25-yard line.
Yeah, you always wonder why a nose guard who's right over the ball is going to move, you know, before the ball moves.
Samson Satelli, the Raiders' new center. Cowboys show blitz. Gratkowski notices it. Michael Bush picks up the blitzer. Throw out right and an incomplete to Johnny Lee Higgins. Nicely done by Michael Bush. Bobby Carpenter, who's going to be the Cowboys' nickel linebacker, he blitzed right up the middle, and Michael Bush, nice blitz pickup there.
Yeah, Bush is a big guy. He came right up. He didn't wait for him. He came right up and got him close to the line, which is the key because you got to give the quarterback and enable the quarterback, Gratkowski to get rid of the ball without taking the sack.
Michael Bush is a well-built guy at 6'1", 245, probably the best blocking halfback the Raiders have among the trio of Fargus, McFadden, and Michael Bush. 3rd down and 7. Gratkowski in the shotgun. Satelli with the snap to him. He steps up. He throws deep. One left. Caught. No, broken up. Lewis Murphy had it for a moment, and the ball was knocked out by Gerald Sensabaugh, the strong safety. Murphy gets up slowly, had it for a second, and he got popped.
Yeah, he's limping a little bit too, Greg. Coming off the field.
But, you know, those are the kinds of catches you have to make. A good play by Gradowski by stepping up. He puts the ball on the money. Ball should have been caught.
Sensabaugh hit him cleanly, but then he, as he went into him, he went high into his face mask. That was a big hit there by Sensabaugh, the former Jacksonville Jaguar, who signed on as a free agent. They replaced Roy Williams. Here's the punt by Leckler, a fluttering ball, short one, will bounce, take a big Raider hop, and a broken tackle here. And nice open field tackle by the running back there, Gary Russell, pardon me. Gary Russell on the tackle for the Raiders there on Willie Reed on the return. 10-7 Raiders lead, 9:47 to play in the first half. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Clarence Davis, one of the more famous catches in Raider history, and that great playoff win over the Miami Dolphins, and the great sea of hands play in '74 with Kenny Stabler getting it away before Vern Denherter got him from behind. Cowboys will start 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line. 10-7 Raiders lead with 9:47 to go in the first half. John Kitna, the new quarterback in for the Cowboys. Raiders playing a second-team defensive front, and that ball was dropped by Miles Austin on a slant route. He got inside of the coverage. Good ball there by John Kitna, and just a drop there by Austin.
Didn't look like anybody had an arm in there. The ball just was thrown perfectly. Went right through his hands. He's a young guy fighting to make this team. 4th-year man.
Out of Monmouth, he was a rookie free agent signing in the Cowboys in '06. He's played there for 3 years. Last year began to emerge a bit with 13 catches and 3 touchdowns. 2nd and 10 Cowboys, getting out of the shotgun. He's going to roll the pocket immediately to his right and throw a wobbly ball. It is caught by Sam Hurd for a first down. On the Raider 48-yard line, a pickup of 22 yards there. Nicely done by Kitna, Jim. That was a designed rollout right from the snap, and he executed it perfectly.
Yeah, it certainly was. It gave him more time to throw the ball, to see the field, more time for the receiver to run his route and get open. And it was, as you say, extremely well executed.
Now, John Kitna, as you noted earlier, he's not a bad backup. He's thrown for over 27,000 yards in his career, 152 touchdowns. He's had 4 3,000-yard seasons. He just dropped the center snap, I do believe. Jay Richardson got in there and wrapped him up. That's something quarterbacks do every now and then.
Well, but look where they are. You know, they're playing on that infield, and in that infield, sometimes that ball comes up with a little sand on it, and it'll get away from you.
William Joseph was in on the front. The Raiders have gone to a backup defensive line. Jay Richardson is playing the left defensive end here. Matt Shaughnessy is checked in at right defensive end. The Raiders' 3rd-round draft pick out of Wisconsin, wearing number 77. For those of you watching on TV in our simulcast, William Joseph just jumped off sides.
Encroachment. Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
William Joseph playing inside along with Turdell Sands, former New York Giant. Cowboys in a rough division. The Raiders will see the NFC East this year. They're going to play in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. And they're also going to play in New York against the Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, who signed Michael Vick today. And the Washington Redskins will be coming to Oakland. A great home schedule this year. 2nd and 7, Kitna, a straight drop. Going to throw a deep ball down the right sideline, and it is broken up. Michael Huff took it away. An interception there by Michael Huff. What a play he made.
Great play.
Michael Huff came over from his free safety position, read that one beautifully, and then had to rip it away from the wide receiver to take the pick away.
Yeah, Michael Huff has really made this training camp an issue for himself and trying to get back that winning position as a starter, because he's having an excellent camp, and there's evidence of it right there.
Michael Huff with a nice step there. 8:17 to play in the half. Raiders lead 10-7 on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, and I'm here with number 99, newly acquired Greg Ellis from the Dallas Cowboys. Greg, playing with the Cowboys for a number of years. You're over with the Raiders. Mr. Davis, tell us about it.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, being a part of a team so long, 10 years, well actually 11 years in Dallas, and now my 12th season to play against for the first preseason game. I told myself I was just going to take it like another game, but every time I look over there, you know, it's funny when I'm playing against guys that I practiced against for so many years.
You know, I know you must have a feeling for the Cowboys. Tell us about that feeling.
It's, you know, I have to have a feeling for them because I played for them for so long, but now my feeling runs even deeper with the Oakland Raiders because that's the present team I'm on. So I'm going to give everything I can give to have Oakland win that Super Bowl.
All right, man, thanks for the interview. Back up to you, Greg.
All right, George, and thank you, Greg. Nice ball over the middle delivered by Bruce Gratkowski to Lewis Murphy. A flag came down on the play here. It is actually in the secondary, so we'll see what Mike Carey's crew. But a nice big target, Lewis Murphy is Plunk.
Well, go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Good play action pass by Gradowski.
Before the pass, holding defense number 33 is declined. Play results in a first down.
And it was a zone coverage. He found the hole, and Gradowski got him the ball. He made up for the catch that he couldn't quite hold on, or the miss he couldn't quite hold on to earlier in the game. But good throw and catch all the way around.
Mike Mickens called for the hold, a round 7 draft pick out of Cincinnati. Raiders, of course, declined that and take the 18-yarder to Murphy, who bounced back. He was a little dinged on the last offensive sequence when he got popped by Sensabaugh. 1st and 10 Raiders on their 25. Draw. Michael Bush sneaks through off the left side and runs for the first down. A flag does come down late, again thrown by Mike Carey. Mike has been missing throwing yellow handkerchiefs the last 8 months, so he's throwing most of these penalties tonight.
They're going to bring it back.
Going to be a hold on the Raiders.
Holding, offense number 79. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It's called on Paul McQuiston. Paul started the game at left guard. Now he has moved over to the right side of the offensive line. Pardon me, he's still playing at left guard, actually, McQuiston. And he did hold.
Yeah, it was a takedown, really. He was into the block pretty good, but then he just held on a little too long.
Can you imagine the look on that defensive back's face, though, as Michael Bush is heading right towards you?
You got to tackle him.
Oh,
Step up and bring him down, huh? He is powerful. 1st and 20 Raiders. Their own 15. Bush the lone back. Bobby Carpenter shows blitz. And he does come up the middle on a twist. There's a throw by Gradkowski, a low one bouncing off the infield dirt. He threw a little bit too low there to Lewis Murphy. And it'll bring up a 2nd down for the Raiders. The Raiders starting quarterback obviously will be Jamarcus Russell. The backup will be Jeff Garcia, the veteran, who has had a lingering calf injury since the first weekend of training camp. So Jeff not suiting up tonight. One of the intriguing battles, guys, is who's going to be the Raider 3rd quarterback. Bruce Gradkowski gets the first snaps tonight, the veteran. Also Charlie Fry, former Cleveland Brown, and very briefly with the Seattle Seahawks, will get some playing time later. 2nd and 20 Raiders. And off Michael Bush, again hurdles over the left side, and he's out across the 20 to 21-yard line. You called him smooth yet powerful last preseason, Tom. He's a lot to like, isn't he?
Well, like that last run of his, he had the ball, and he just made one little simple move, and the defender got out of position, and with one arm, you're not going to bring him down. But when you talk about a quarterback, it's interesting that the quarterback battle is not for the 1st or 2nd, but the quarterback battle in camp is getting a lot of attention. It's for that 3rd spot.
They got a couple of guys who are veterans. Gradkowski and Fry have combined for 32 starts and over 5,000 passing yards. Here's Gradkowski back, looking right now, throwing middle too high and in between, right through the hands of Johnny Lee Higgins on 3rd down, as he got a little pressure in his face there from Stephen Bowen, the right defensive end. Now the Raiders will punt the football away.
You know, I think that's one of the things the coaches are looking at. How do these quarterbacks who played some in the National Football League, but not a great deal, how do they respond with pressure in their face? Can they throw accurately with people all around them?
Now the Raiders have a young starter in Jamarcus Russell, and they have 3 veterans behind him right now in camp, and Jeff Garcia, Bruce Gradkowski, and Charlie Fry. D'Angelo Smith is back to return this punt of Shane Leckler, the 4-time Pro Bowler and 4-time All-Pro punter. Gets it away on the Raider 12-yard line. Smith will come over to the far right, let it bounce at the 30. It rolls inside the 25, and he touched the ball and was able to push it out of bounds with the roll. That is a 55-yard punt.
Their information quickly, so if you're a fan of the Raiders, go to twitter.com/Oak Raiders. And Gray, you can even follow me at twitter.com/JTTheBrick. Back to you.
Tweet to JT. We're all twittering. I'll explain that to Flores in the break here. 35-yard line. The Cowboys are up now in a quick slant there and a catch and run. John Kitten delivering the ball beautifully to Sam Hurd. John Bowie on the tackle for the Raiders. Actually, Kirk Morrison was tweeting before the ball game about how excited he was to play in this preseason game.
I thought Twitter used to be what rookies did in the locker room before they came out for their first game. I mean, what is this Twitter stuff?
Jim, explain it to him, would you?
You got me.
He played back in 1960. Choice runs through a tackle to Ricky Brown in the secondary. Flag down. The Cowboys may have held. Boyd will push him out of bounds. That is Jerome Boyd. the rookie free agent out of Oregon, is making the conversion from linebacker to safety, who pushed out Choice. Ricky Brown missed a tackle in the hole there. That was a 29-yard run, but most of it will come back. Mike Carey's crew has another penalty.
Holding, offense number 17, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It's on Wade Phillips, his wide receiver. Kind of an interesting movement of coaches a couple of off seasons ago. Wade was the defensive coordinator in San Diego, became the head coach in Dallas, and then North took over as the head coach in San Diego. Getting it, throws middle, catch by Hurd, wrapped up immediately by Slade Norris, and whipped backwards by Norris. Nice tackle there by the Raider rookie linebacker.
Yeah, there's a great opportunity for a lot of these young players, newly acquired, out there on the field to show what they can actually do in game situations. And Slade has shown himself quite well tonight so far.
And also Matt Shaughnessy, Jim, number 77, the round 3 pick from the D-line out of Wisconsin, got some pressure in and made that play happen. Darius Hayward-Bay, the Raiders' first overall draft pick, on the bench studying the film from upstairs, the still shots with Sanjay Lal, the Raider wide receiver coach, getting a lob hit over the middle and a catch made, and a first down inside the Raider 30. So Sam Hurd makes the catch. He gets Owens for his illegal block a moment ago. He's a big target, and that's a 30-yard catch and run by Sam Hurd.
Yeah, and Kitna doing an outstanding job on the play action, kind of like Ronnie Romo did. The line selling out pretty good, and then he throws the ball perfectly over a defender right into the hands of Hurd. The defender was Ricky Brown, playing the middle linebacker.
John Kitna has got them on the move. He is going to be their backup quarterback behind Romo this year. They also have Stephen McGee, a young quarterback, a round 4 pick out of Texas A&M. And we'll see maybe Rudy Carpenter, the former Arizona State Sun Devil, who they signed as a rookie free agent. Tashard Choice there, tackled by Jerome Boyd after a short gain of a couple. 3.5 to play in this first half, coming up at halftime. On the Raiders TV network, we are going to have a feature on Al Davis. Mr. Davis celebrating his 80th birthday this year, and a big year with his 50th year anniversary season of the inception of the AFL. A driving force in that league's history, and a guy who forced the merger. Again, getting a nice ball fake on the play action. He hits Hurd over the middle. Michael Huff on the tackle, but Sam Hurd, it has been his drive, Jim. They're going to number 17 repeatedly on this series.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier with Jamarcus and Schilling, sometimes you work together real well with this particular receiver during training camp, and all of a sudden you're throwing a lot of balls his way.
Raider defense has played well with the exception of one drive, and now this drive. We'll see if the second unit defense can stiffen on the inside the 20 in the red zone. Choice up the middle. And he gets only a couple of yards there, hit by David Nixon. The Raiders like him very much. Also, Slade Norris was hit on the play. Slade Norris, a rookie round 4 pick out of Oregon State. David Nixon, who wears number 48, a rookie free agent from BYU. Norris plays the strong side linebacker slot, and Nixon plays the weak side. And they're approaching the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys did not have to run a play here, and it looks like they will not. So we're going to get the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys will face a 2nd and 7 from the Raider 9-yard line when we
That's
come
a
back.
2-minute warning.
Thank you, Mike Carey. 2-minute warning. 10-7. Raiders lead the Cowboys. Hope you're enjoying this one on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. Story, what a great comeback season for the Raiders that year. And for you personally, Tashard Choice has dropped it around the 6-yard line by Slade Norris. Jim, one of only 9 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to win 2 or more Super Bowls. Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, John Elway, Bob Greasy, Bart Starr, Roger Staubach. They're all in the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady being the other, and he will go in the Hall of Fame. And I just cannot believe, but one day, Jim, you will be in Canton. We're all pulling for you. And what a great Super Bowl run that was. It was a wild card all the way to the championship of Super Bowl 15. 3rd and 4. Getting out of the gun. Looks right, now comes left, throws middle, broken up in the end zone with a flag on Michael Huff for pass interference. Michael Huff thinks he did it cleanly, but a flag is thrown there. Sam Hurd was the intended target. Michael thought he got it cleanly, Tom, but he's called for a PI in the end zone.
Yeah, he is. He's called, or somebody else is called. I'm not sure. There were 2 defensive backs involved in the play. We'll see which one they call it on.
David Nixon, the linebacker, was also there, but it appeared to be
pass interference. Defense number 24 in the end zone. Ball's on the 1 yard line, automatic. First down.
Michael Huff with an interception earlier tonight. Only one career NFL interception a couple of years ago at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. He's in a battle with Hiram Eugene to be Tom Cable, starting free safety. There's a handoff, and they do not get in. Tashard Choice gets thrown back by Isaiah Ekajuba. Ekajuba taking over as the Raiders' third middle linebacker tonight after Morrison and then Ricky Brown. Nice play by Ike.
You know, down there it's all about attitude. You know, who's going to make it and who's not. And good penetration by the Raider D line to get back there and make the play.
Sam Williams also involved on that goal line defensive stand. 50 seconds to go in the opening half. Second and goal, Cowboys. Raiders up 10-7. They spread the formation now. Kitten in the gun. Two go right in the slot. Hurd is the slot guy. Isaiah Stanback goes left to snap right between Kitten's hands, and he is sacked back on the 20-yard line by Jay Richardson. It was a hot and quick long snap there out of the gun, and it went right through the hands of Kitna. It's a huge loss.
Yeah, that was a high ball. That was a high fastball coming right back at Kitna, and he didn't have a chance to catch it. That came back like a bullet.
Timeout, Dallas, their second. A 30-second timeout. Please put 24 seconds on the game clock.
That's certainly one of Jay
24
Richards'
seconds on the game clock, please. Thank you.
Easiest sacks, there's no doubt about that.
He'll take it. Corey Proctor is the new center in for the Cowboys, replacing the three-time Pro Bowl center Andre Gerard. And he just whistled that one right through Kid, and that was high and wide.
High and wide, yeah.
Well, 24 seconds to go. The Cowboys now will face a third and goal on the 18-yard line. Who wants to call this play? What are you going to do here, Plunk? That third and goal on the 18.
If it were Tom calling the play or sending in a play to me, or it was me calling it, I'd try to get in the end zone. You know, I think they're going to maybe look early down there, otherwise drop it off and settle for a field goal.
Wade Phillips runs the Cowboys defense. It is Jason Garrett, their offensive coordinator, longtime backup to Troy Aikman.
Whatever you do, you got to get points on this drive. That's the Dallas theory. That's what they have to think.
They're already in field goal range. Getting it back and a pump and a throw for the end zone left, and a double coverage through the hands of Isaiah Stanback. He got his hands on that ball, double covered by Justin Miller and Jerome Boyd. Nice ball there by Kitna, Jim. Is that Stanback had a chance to catch that?
That ball was right on the money. It would have been a real fine catch, but, you know, being a quarterback, catch the ball. Right, but fine, great throw.
I agree. Catch the ball. That's what we told our guys. We always told them, hey, I don't care how many guys are on the ball. Hits you in the hands, catch it.
And Stanback thought that very thing when he played quarterback at the University of Washington. He was trying to make the conversion to wide receiver. Here's the field goal attempt by Nick Folk, and it is no good. He missed it wide left. It was on the left hash mark, and the right-footed kicker hit it straight. A 36-yard field goal by Folk, who was a Pro Bowler as a rookie. He put it right over the right, or the left upright, right on your TV screen, but clearly wide.
Yeah, and he was Greg. Once again, he was kicking off. He was standing in the dirt, kicking off the grass, and that's a little different feel. You get very tentative when you hit the ball.
Yeah, that is an ongoing concern here, playing in a dual sport facility like the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, which is also the home of the American League's Oakland Athletics, who, by the way, are going to play a game tomorrow night here. So Clay Wood's going to be working overtime to convert this back to a baseball field. See what the Raiders do with 15 seconds to play. Tony Stewart, the tight end, goes in motion. Gradkowski get a handoff to Michael Bush, and he breaks free and picks up another 11 yards. Well, he is smooth and he is powerful. Robbie Carpenter on the tackle. So a pretty good first half for the Raiders, guys. Up 10-7 over the Cowboys.
Pretty good first half. A couple of holding penalties you don't like, but overall it was not sloppy. It was pretty tight.
All right, 10-7 Raiders, halfway through it on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Raider greats, Tom Flores and Jim Plunkett, and I'll start with Plunk because Jamarcus Russell had a 17-yard run there, had some good moments in that first half. What did you think of Jamarcus?
I thought he played extremely well. I think there was a lot of criticism during training camp, not going accurately, not being consistent. I thought tonight he put some of those things to bed. I thought he played. I thought he was sharp, threw on time, got out of the pocket, gave himself more time to throw the football. All in all, he looked pretty good.
Darren McFadden had a 45-yard run. The star of the first half was Chaz Schillens, though, Tom. He had 5 catches. He looked polished. Here's the touchdown pass. Bruce Gronkowski finds Tony Stewart in the back of the end zone. Nice interception there by Michael Huff. A missed field goal by the Cowboys late. And the Raiders at halftime have a 3-point lead as we take a look at our 7-11 halftime stats. And the Raiders were outgained a little bit by the Cowboys overall as far as the passing numbers, but the Raider ground game, McFadden, the 45-yard run, more good runs by Michael Bush, Tom. So the Raiders by a couple of yards outgained the Dallas Cowboys in that first half. Second half kickoff is brought to you by the International Truck Center, miles ahead. Visit them today at internationaltruck.com. Nick Miller is going to return this second half kickoff for the Raiders. Nick Miller, a rookie free agent out of Southern Utah. David Beeler, who was the son of former Oakland Raider offensive lineman George Beeler. He's going to kick off for the Cowboys, and we are underway here in the second half. Beeler has a very strong leg, and that was 5 yards deep in the end zone. Raiders will start on the 20. Moments ago, JT the Brick got Tom Cable's thoughts on the Raiders' first half performance.
We're back with head coach Tom Cable. Coach, talk about the first half, especially Jamarcus Russell hooking up with Chaz Schillens.
Well, you know, we want to come out and throw it around a little bit tonight, and did a pretty decent job of it. Really, just 2 holding penalties kind of knocked this out of what we were trying to do. But I like what I saw. We have guys open on the field and some decent protection. Just got to handle a little first down pressure there on a couple drives. But other than that, not bad. I like the defense. You know, we got to handle the run a little bit better on one side. The other side was pretty good.
It was great to see Darren McFadden back again, a big run. He looks healthy.
No, he is healthy, and all the 3 of those guys are. And you'll see a couple of young guys now in the second half.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you. Greg, back to you.
And we see one of those young guys right away. Here's Lewis Rankin, an intriguing prospect, a guy who was undrafted in the NFL in May of '08 out of the University of Washington, where he put up some great numbers. And he was on the Raider practice squad a year ago, Coach, and he had a very impressive preseason last year.
Yeah, he did. You know, there's a lot of good battles going on in training camp because very few of these players on the field today have anything cinched. So there's some excellent battles going on.
Rankin got 4, so it's 2nd and 6 as Darryl Strong goes in motion. Bruce Gronkowski continues. The quarterback throws out left a little too low. That ball looked like it was trapped, but they gave it to Lewis Murphy for now, though it looked like the ball hit the ground. Did they give him the catch or no?
No, I think they gave him the catch, yeah.
Dave Campo, the secondary coach, can't believe it. And Wade Phillips, they may want to challenge over on the Dallas sideline. Let's take a look at it on TV to see if it bounced or not.
Well, it happened right in front of the bench, and, that hit the ground.
Definitely did. If they want to challenge, that would be overturned. So you have to, and Wade Phillips is going to throw the red flag out, so that ball clearly hit the ground. Dave Campo, the former head coach of the Cowboys, is their secondary coach. And their offensive plays. Wade Phillips, the Cowboy head coach, calls all their defensive plays. Jim, you're right about this. This is almost that Bert Emanuel rule. Very close, but it did bounce, didn't it?
I'm not so sure. It's hard for me to tell.
After review, the ball hit the ground, therefore it was incomplete pass. Therefore, Dallas is now charged with a team timeout. It'll be 3rd and 6 on the 24-yard line. Please put 14-14 on the game clock.
A few years ago, in a playoff game with Atlanta, Bert Emanuel was denied a catch, and they changed that rule. That ball was bounced. A couple of changes on Tom Cable's coaching staff since he has taken over full-time as the head coach. The interesting thing, some veterans he's brought in. Paul Hackett to be the quarterback coach. He has also brought in Ted Tollner to be the passing game coordinator, and John Marshall to be the new defensive coordinator. We're talking about 3 guys that combined, I think, of about 100 years of coaching.
No kidding.
They've been around forever, some of the most acclaimed coaches in football. Gronkowski throws out right. That ball came out odd. It was going to Todd Watkins. A flag is down across the field over on the Cowboy sideline. Almost looked like the ball slipped out of Gronkowski's hand or was tipped or something.
Yeah, but there's an illegal chuck on the other side of the field, I believe, and that's going to bring a first down.
That'll give the Raiders automatic first down.
For the pass, illegal hands to the face. Defense number 33, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Mike Mickens is called for it on the other side of the field here.
Yeah, he gets his left hand right in the face mask. Actually grabs the face mask a little bit. of Louis Murphy.
You can't do that?
Well, in my day you could.
Yeah, no kidding.
And in your day too.
Those defenders used to maul the receivers coming off the line of scrimmage.
And back in the day, you could, as long as the ball wasn't in the air, right?
Yeah.
Do anything.
Bump them all over the field.
First and 10, Raiders on their own 29-yard line. And it's Brandon Myers, a rookie tight end, going in motion. A play action by Gradkowski. A blitz picked up, throw out, and a catch by Murphy. What a nice hands catch that was, out to midfield.
And a nice throw, a very nice throw. Great timing on that.
You know, between Darius Harriet-Bay and Louis Murphy from Florida, you know, neither one of these guys caught a whole lot of passes. There's Gradkowski stepping into the throw, real accurate, really well executed. But these two guys, you know, are not like a Crabtree who caught, you know, gazillion passes. But, you know, they show they have a lot of speed and they can catch the football.
Now, Louis Murphy was a part of 2 NCAA championship teams. He had 37 catches his junior year and 38 his senior year. Gradkowski, a short drop. That ball was tipped. He was trying to hit Murphy on the slant. Louis Murphy, Gradkowski got hit on that. But Murphy, of course, he played in an offense that featured Tim Tebow and Percy Harvin. But they are certainly going to like him this year. Raiders are very excited about this young core of wide receivers, and you should be a part of Raider football in 2009. The Raiders have all kinds of ticket packages and suites available to you. 1-800-RAIDERS is the phone number, or get online to Raiders.com, and a Raider representative will walk you through the process step by step. Don't miss a game. The Raiders have a great home schedule this year, again playing the NFC East and the AFC North. Screen to Rankin, a block there by Holland, and a first down by Rankin to the Dallas 30-yard line. Jonathan Holland, the wide receiver, with a nice downfield block to make that a 20-yard catch and run.
Well executed by Gradkowski on that one, because he held the ball, stopped, faded back just a little bit, an excellent touch, and it was a well-executed play.
That big Samson Satelli out there, the center, still playing here into the third quarter. The Raiders have some of their first-team offensive line members still on the field. First and 10, Raiders on the Cowboy 30-yard line. They go slot right, Murphy inside of Holland. Rankin off the right side, and the handoff, a big seam, and a first down. No, but he's got about 9 of it. It'll be second down and 1. Louis Rankin, Tom, he mentioned him earlier, an intriguing guy at 6'1", 205 pounds.
Well, he was impressive last year as well. I mean, watching him, and the only problem is, what are you going to do with 4 running backs? I'm not sure what they're going to do with all these guys. And, you know, the guy that we haven't even mentioned coming back, Jim, I think is Orrin O'Neal. Came back pretty strong from his surgery.
Yeah, he certainly has. Leading the way, blocking the point of attack.
He had a devastating knee injury during training camp last year, tore his ACL, his LCL. Here's Gradkowski after a play fake, and a lob one out left, wide open, the rookie Myers, and he dives down to the 2-yard line. He almost got in. Brandon Myers, a 6th-round draft pick out of Iowa, got wide open there. First and goal, Raiders on the Cowboy 2.
Well, Gradkowski is certainly making a push for that 3rd spot. He's finding the open guys and getting the ball there. It's not a zip ball or a rifle ball, but he gets it there.
And he's making right decisions. He's getting to the guy who's open, throwing it fairly accurately.
One advantage Gradkowski has is he was claimed off waivers in February, so he has been with the Raiders throughout all of the offseason. Handoff, Rankin coming left, stops in the hole, gets wide, cuts back in and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! And Rankin will jump into the black hole, south end zone here at the Coliseum. He ran right through the tackle of Patrick Watkins, the strong safety, showing elusiveness and power.
Hey, you know, Tom, you know, you mentioned what are you going to do with all these running backs. Great play by Rankin here. Takes it inside, makes the defense stop, has enough speed to get outside and score the touchdown there. Real fine play on Rankin's part. But, you know, you say, what are you going to do with all these running backs? It's a good problem to have, though, as you would say as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You find a way to keep it some way.
Ricky Schmidt, a left-footed place kicker, will take this placement for Sebastian Janikowski, a rookie free agent of Shepherd College, and he splits the uprights. Rankin out of Lincoln High School in Stockton, and he finds the end zone and the black hole. 17-7 Raiders, 11:57 to go third quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Hall of Fame after Jim Otto winning in '80, Blanda winning in '81. Louis Rankin, nice drive. He scores the touchdown. He also had a 19-yard catch and run on the screen. He looked very good on that drive.
Yeah, very capable fellow, can do a lot of things. Showed he can catch the ball and make some moves out in the open field, and then a good run by holding the defense inside and then just taking it outside for the score.
Well, they are proud in Stockton. Went to Lincoln High School in Stockton, where he rushed his senior year for over 2,200 yards and scored 41 touchdowns. There's Kevin Ogletree on the return for the Dallas Cowboys. Out over the 30-yard line. Jerome Boyd, who has made a nice conversion from collegiate linebacker at Oregon to NFL safety. He has been showing up a lot. Now, flag is down. Back where the Raiders kicked off, back at around the 34-yard line. Looks like one of the Raiders may have been offsides.
Probably so.
Fourth-round draft pick this year, a rookie out of Texas A&M. He's a very good runner. Very elusive guy. Put up some good numbers for the Aggies. This play is 3 flags come in. Let's see if they all saw the same thing here.
Ball start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah,
backup center Corey Proctor, James.
And Tom, made the point. You have somebody new in there. The timing, the tempo's off. People jump off sides.
Yeah, the big difference when you have Tony Romo or in the second guy in John Kitna, 13-year veteran, running the huddle and running the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden you got a rookie who's has to be a little nervous going in.
So it's 1st and 15. Cowboys back out on their 30-yard line. Raiders up 17-7. We're 3 minutes into the second half. McGee, a play action, a screen to Lattimore out left, 30, 35, breaks a tackle, and he's out near the 40-yard line. That is Keon Lattimore, pushed out by Isaiah Ekajuba. Lattimore, a first-year free agent back out of Maryland.
You know what I've noticed by both teams, which is a little unusual, at least from my point of view, is usually screens you drop back, you suck in the defense and you drop it off. Now these guys, both of these teams, run a lot of screens from play action. Makes it much more difficult for those offensive linemen to read it.
That is a good point. 2nd down and 5. Cowboys. Play action to Lattimore. Roll out right by McGee. Here's his mobility on display, and then a bullet ball and a flag comes in. There may be a pass interference call on the Raiders. We'll see how they see it. Jason Horton, the defensive back, may have arrived a little bit early on Isaiah Standback.
Well, that flag came from the center field, and that he wasn't watching. He shouldn't have been watching that where the play was. He should be watching across the field, inside.
Yeah, like watching a TV replay, Horton didn't know a whole lot to be called for pass interference, and also the quarterback got outside the numbers on that.
Both of them against Oakland.
Yeah.
Holding number 98 is declined. Pass interference. Defense number 27 is declined. Is accepted.
Wow.
Point of the pass.
I didn't see it.
First down.
I did not see interference at all on Horton.
Plus the ball was my uncatchable. How could be interference? Could be holding, but the ball was out of bounds.
Looked like pretty tight coverage there, and a big wide receiver. Isaiah Standback, again, the college quarterback at Washington, has good size. So it's a first down, 1st and 10, Cowboys near midfield. And they give it to Lattimore up the middle, and he rolls into Raider territory. Dropped on the Raider 45-yard line. Jay Richardson is woofing back at some of the Cowboys here. And it's Scott Chandler, their backup tight end, a former San Diego Charger, getting into it with Jay Richardson. The Raiders are playing a second-team defense throughout now. All of the starters are long gone. Shaughnessy and Richardson play the end positions inside. It's Turdell Sands and William Joseph. 2nd down and 4, Cowboys. McGee, a straight drop, a pump, and now the ball deflected by Jay Richardson. Nicely done by Jay. Coming from his left defensive end slot, he knocked that one right out of McGee's hand.
And sometimes when you don't get a lot of depth, it's a short route, and you fake pump once. There's so much penetration by the defensive line at that point that you really have no chance. They just stick their hand up and knock the ball down.
Yeah, it just becomes a big sea of arms, and when the defensive linemen are not little guys. They stand up tall. They're about 10 feet tall.
Good first half from Jamarcus Russell. He was 6 of 9 running the Raider team in that first quarter plus. 3rd down and 4, Cowboys on the Raider 46-yard line. Ekajuba comes on a blitz. McGee under pressure, throws out right, and it's incomplete. Good coverage there by Horton. A flag does come down, though. A lot of flags here tonight in this first preseason game.
Well, the flag is close to the line of scrimmage, so something happened.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
So 2 in a row on this defensive series on Jason Horton, a third-year cornerback from North Carolina A&T. Has played in the league before. He was a 2-year Green Bay Packer. Also played in the CFL for the Toronto Argonauts. So 1st and 10, Dallas on the Raider 41-yard line. Raiders up 17-7. Lattimore. And he breaks a tackle and runs for a first down to the Raider 28-yard line. Looked like Slade Norris had a good chance to turn that back inside. He was able to slip by that tackle. He may have been able to juke another Raider in the middle of the field. I think Derek Brown may have missed the tackle. And Lattimore goes for 13 yards.
Yeah, Lattimore was in the backfield and should have made that tackle, but in the worst case scenario, he diverted the way the runner was running, the way Lattimore was running. Somebody else should have been there to finish it up.
1st and 10, Cowboys on the Raider 29-yard line. Stephen McGee calling it audible at the line of scrimmage now. The play clock down to 5. Fakes the handoff to Lattimore. Shaughnessy going to pressure him, throws, ball deflected and still caught for a loss. And then getting up and running afterwards is Scott Chandler. That was a strange play there. David Nixon was in the coverage and tight coverage. Actually, it was John Phillips, the other tight end, who made the play. Nixon was all over him, and he somehow was able to deflect that up and catch it.
Yeah, he did. He came back. He came up with the ball. I thought maybe the contact he would have been down by contact, because there was a little contact. And I'm surprised he didn't blow the ball, did he?
Yeah, I agree with you. So Phillips able to pop back up, and he gets 6 yards out of that. Here's Lattimore off the left side. Shaughnessy may have been held there, but no flag.
Boy.
Yeah,
sure you think? Like it. What do you think, Plunk?
I think he's held.
But when it's out in space like that, outside by the numbers, it's pretty obvious that Shaughnessy was held on that play. No flag.
He's trying to get away from the left tackle, Doug Free, and as he was trying to get away, Free just reached out and pulled him back in.
Matt Shaughnessy, a 3rd-round draft pick this April out of Wisconsin. He's got some size, 6'5", 270 pounds. Raiders trying to shore up their end positions this year, getting bigger. Trading Derek Burgess to New England. Now they've got Greg Ellis, who should be able to play the run better. 3rd and short. McGee under pressure, rolling, being chased by William Joseph. Will throw it away. He got outside of the tackle box to avoid the grounding, but good pressure there by William Joseph all over Stephen McGee. See what the Cowboys do on 4th down. They are going to bring in a field goal unit here. Wasn't sure which kicker was going to do it. Nick Folk did not run out, and now late David Beeler runs out.
David Beeler.
This is George Beeler's kid.
Well, I don't know if it's his kid or is it his nephew.
No, it's his son, isn't it? What's his nephew?
Right.
All right, here's the kick by David Beeler from 39 yards, again out of the dirt baseball infield, and he drives it through. And the Cowboys have 3. 17-10. George's nephew, to be corrected. 8:46 to go, 3rd quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
And he jumped out this year with an incredible game. The opening night of the 50th season as we kick off the preseason. Chaz, first off, you were locked in right out of the gate with Jamarcus.
You know, we've been working hard in OTAs, off-season, training camp. That's what we work at. And, you know, we want to see positive things. And we came out here, offense was clicking. We're off to a good start. And we're just going to build from there.
You've done this before, now in your 2nd year. What are you trying to improve on from last year?
We want to be a passing team along with a running team. We want to be considered, I think as a whole, we want to be known as a passing threat too, not just a running threat. And we want to score points, a lot more than we scored last year.
Greg, back to you. I have a feeling you're going to be calling his name a lot this year.
Touchdown, Schillens. Nice return there by Nick Miller, JT. Rookie free agent from Southern Utah takes it out near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, but there's a flag down, Greg. They're going to bring it back a little bit.
I think it'll be easier on the plays we just point out when there's not a flag.
I know that. That would like
a lot of flags, isn't it?
There's no foul. Illegal wedge. There are only 2 players together, and another 2 are 2 yards apart.
Well, that is a new rule in the National Football League this year. You cannot have more than 2 players compose the wedge on kickoff return. Years past, you'd have 3, sometimes 4.
Yeah.
How do you think that'll change the kickoff return game?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, you always want to have that wedge in front of you so the running back can make a cut and choice off something, but, you know, it's going to have to do.
Competition committee voted extensively, 3 nays on that to try to avoid injury. Somebody jumped off sides. Here's Gary Russell, former Pittsburgh Steeler, taking it off the left side and picking up about 3. But Bruce Gratkowski may have gotten a Cowboy on the hard count there. I think it's offsides Dallas.
You know, what amazes me about the referees, though, that 2 guys were together and the other 2 were 2 yards apart. You know, that's pretty good.
Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's pretty good vision on some things.
Marcus Dixon, first-year defensive end out of Hampton, who was on the Cowboy practice squad a year ago, who jumped in the neutral zone. So Bruce Gratkowski continues, and he has played well. Bruce Gratkowski with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a couple of years, last year briefly with Cleveland. Flags down again at the snap of the ball. Gratkowski throws. Luke Lawton, the fullback, trying to dive for a first down, tripped up just shy at around the 40-yard line.
That might be an illegal shift. Now, they might have had to. One of the Raiders, I don't think, was set when that motion started, and I think that's what they're going to call.
Mike Carey is talking to his head linesman, George Hayward.
Illegal shift on the offense. Number 10 and 83 are moving at the same time. First down, 10 yards to go.
Good call, Tom.
Yeah. He's a starter for 11 games. Threw 9 touchdown passes and over 1,600 yards. Nick Miller is now in as a slot receiver. Handoff to Gary Russell off the left side. And he picks up a hard 2 before he is dropped there. Russell actually scored a touchdown last year in the Super Bowl in the Steelers' win over Arizona. He had a 1-yard touchdown run.
And I've heard some pretty good things about number 89, Nick Miller, out of Southern Utah. Some of the coaches liken him to, you know, a young Wes Welker with his quickness and his agility and his ability to catch the football.
Well, if he turns out to be half as good as Welker, the Raiders have found somebody, a rookie free agent. He actually has more speed. He's very fast, Nick Miller. Todd Watkins one side, Holland the other. Gratkowski back on second down. Throws. Caught by Holland for a later first down in the midfield and dropped on the Cowboy 49-yard line. 17-yard pickup there to Jonathan Holland.
Pretty good target in the middle. There was nobody between the quarterback and Holland. The backers were all in coverage, and there was a huge hole in the middle of the field. And Gratkowski does a very nice job of stepping up in the pocket.
Gratkowski looks very smooth. He is 26 years of age, a 4th-year quarterback out of Toledo. Holland out of Louisiana Tech with the catch there. 1st and 10 Raiders on the Cowboy 49. Play action. Gratkowski going deep, ball down the middle for Nick Miller. He dropped it, I believe, and then he hauled it in. He caught it. He caught it on the 1-yard line. He bobbled the ball, and before it hit the ground, he was able to pull it in. What a catch there on the deflection by Nick Miller, a 47-yarder all the way to the 1-yard line.
Well, Plunk was just talking about him. There's your guy, Plunk.
Oh, yeah, good play action fake. They're finally going up top over the top of the defenders, and a real fine throw and a great concentrated catch by Nick Miller down to the 1-yard line.
Ball popped up in the air, and before he hit the ground, and he did catch it, he secured his elbows in tight and made sure that ball did not hit the ground. He caught it the whole way. What a catch that was, huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
And those are the kind of catches he is making in training camp. He is making tough catches.
Oakland, they're first.
You know, usually in camp, there's always a favorite, Greg, and he seems to be the favorite this year in camp as the underdog free agent.
The Raiders Broadcasting Network. Nick Miller with a big gainer. Knew baseball, but he certainly knew football. One of the great Raider finds of all time after he was drafted by Tampa Bay. Did not sign. The Raiders got him in the next year's draft much later. And he turned out pretty well. What a nice throw here by Bruce Gratkowski, Jim, to Nick Miller. What a catch he makes.
Yeah, good pass protection allows Gratkowski to be able to step up into the throw. Great concentration by Nick to come down with the football, even though he bobbled it.
1st and goal, Raiders on the 2. Gary Russell, the tail of the eye. Brandon Myers, the tight end, goes in motion, comes back. He's a right wing. Handoff Russell. And Gary takes it down shy of the goal line, though. He's dropped on the 1-yard line.
Gary Russell.
Second and goal coming up for the Raiders. Gary Russell, 5'11", 215-pounder out of Minnesota, where he was in the same backfield with Lawrence Maroney. Raiders up 17-10. 5 minutes to go, third quarter here on opening night of the preseason. Raiders will be in San Francisco to play the Niners a week from Saturday. Myers goes in motion again at right wing. Handoff Russell, same play. This time he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. And Gary Russell will jump into the end zone.
Those guys are liking that black hole.
Into the black hole end zone. Touchdown in the Super Bowl, and now a touchdown his first game as a Raider. Gary Russell got some playing time a year ago at Pittsburgh after Fast Willie Parker got hurt. Nice inside block there by Eric Piers. It looked like a big guy at 6'8", 305, a former Denver Bronco, was able to block down to allow Russell to get the corner.
Yeah, there was a little crease there for the big guy.
There's Ricky Schmidt, left-footed place kicker. And out of the hole to Janikowski, he drives it through, and that's 3 Raider touchdowns tonight. Gary Russell is in. There's Eric Pierce, 72, blocking inside, and Russell takes it outside for a Raider touchdown. 24-10, the Raiders over the Cowboys on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
On game day, when I'm riding in my car, when I get within about a mile or so of the stadium, and you see the people, everybody in their jerseys, getting ready to root for our football team. That's
touchdown drives. Raiders up 24-10 here. With 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. We have not yet seen Charlie Fry, but so far Bruce Gradkowski looks superb.
Yeah, he does. He has not made any mistakes. He's made good choices. Some of his balls have been a little weak, but the rest of it has been very, very good.
Ricky Schmidt to kick off. Ogletree is back deep for Dallas. Short kickoff taken at the 10, wide right, 20. Cuts inside of the numbers 30. And he's out nearly to the 40-yard line, dropped down the 38-yard line as we check in with a couple of pretty good defensive backs downstairs. George.
Yes, Greg, I'm here with all-pro defensive back, Nnamdi Asomugha. Nnamdi, defense tonight looked extremely well. Seems to be a big difference. Talk about the change.
Well, what we're doing now is we're blitzing a lot more. You saw Ricky Brown get in there, and he got a sack. And we've been able to get to the quarterback more than we've done in the past. So I think that's helping the secondary out, and it's helping the defensive line out.
You know, last year you made All-Pro for the first time. What can we expect from Nnamdi this year?
Well, you can expect that again. You know, that's what I'm trying to do every time I step out on the field is be the best I can be. And I'm rallying guys around me to do the same thing. So we look pretty good right now.
Stephen McGee just ran out for a little bit of a run. Now, can you hear me? Greg Papa, Jim Plunkett, and Tom Flores up in the booth. I think you can. Tell me about signing the contract extension. You were a free agent in the offseason, and then you worked it out with Mr. Davis to sign a 3-year deal. Why did you decide you want to be a Raider long-term now?
Well, you know, it all came back to consistency, and we were able to be a little more consistent with what we were doing in the offseason. We were able to bring back Coach Cable. And we were able to bring back a lot of the guys that were here in the past. So I think a lot of that played into it, and the fact that we were able to get something down on paper always feels good.
Stephen McGee able to run outside for a short gain. I was talking to Mr. Davis today, and he's very excited about the young wide receiving core and the young secondary. He thinks you guys have a chance to be elite in the secondary. Tell me about your group back there with you.
Well, there's a lot of speed back there. I think you get that every year, but I think this year the difference is mentally. I think the guys are really focused, and the guys really understand what we're trying to do as a defense. You know, we're playing a lot of man-to-man as always, which is difficult. But when you have guys that are mentally strong and can handle that, you know, you can always be successful.
False start, offense number 68, 5-yard penalty, still third.
False start called on Doug Free. Now, tell me about, in particular, Mike Mitchell. We're not going to get a chance to see him tonight. He's had a little problem with a hamstring injury, but from what you've seen of him up in Napa and in Alameda, what can we expect from Mike Mitchell?
Well, you know, what he's done is he's been really aggressive so far in camp. You know, he's come out, and it seems like every single play he wants to make the big hit and, you know, try to knock somebody's helmet off, you know. So we've been trying to calm him down a little bit. A lot of times in the NFL, you just have to make that short tackle because that big hit isn't always going to come. So that's what we're looking at from him right now.
There was no foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback was
And he was a YouTube sensation at Ohio University. You see that YouTube video on him now with all the big hits?
I didn't see it yet because I didn't want to follow the hype. I wanted him to come out here and prove something to me, so I still haven't seen it. And I told him I'm not going to watch it until he does it here.
Well, I just saw a glimpse of it, so I'll tell you about it later. It's pretty impressive.
Okay.
Nam, thank you for your time, my friend.
Thanks, Rick.
As Nnamdi Asomugha, who finally made a Pro Bowl this year. He's been considered the best cornerback in football for a long time, finally rewarded. And now one of the highest paid players in the league, and he deserves every penny. He is really a heck of a player. Well, the Raiders got off the field there. A lot was going on during our chat with Nnamdi Asomugha. Ryan Boschetti got in and put some pressure on McGee, and the Cowboys were forced to punt. Nick Miller on the punt return. Tough conversion to cornerback and to be the best in the league. Charlie Fry is now in to play quarterback for the Raiders. A handoff to Lewis Rankin, and he goes straight ahead forward for a nice gain.
Well, Nnamdi has, he's made himself better and better every year because he's a very bright, cerebral kind of guy, and he studies the game, and he, the one frustration that he probably had last year, earlier in the year, was that the team wasn't all on the same page. They weren't as dedicated as he was. Obviously now they are, because you can just see the way they talk to each other that they are more focused.
Charlie Fry is in, fifth-year quarterback out of Akron. 2+ years in Cleveland and the last couple of years in Seattle. And off to Rankin. Good block there by Luke Lawton, and a first down run by Rankin. We talked about Lorenzo Neal, the veteran, Orrin O'Neal bouncing back from his injury, guys. But Luke Lawton, a deceptively good lead blocker. Watch number 44 here on the lead play.
Yeah, he's a good blocker. He's very bright. He's very square. And, he keeps that body moving with a good balance, and that's what a lead blocker has to be able to do.
I get back to Nnamdi. For me, he reminds me of Mike Haynes so much. Long and lanky, long arms, be able to stick his hand in there and knock the ball down. Good cover guy.
Just a great technician. Charlie Fry, sensing the rush, steps up and throws, and a catch made by Todd Watkins for a Raider first down. Bruce Gradkowski looks superb, but Charlie Fry, Jim, with that innate quarterback sense, the pressure was coming from the backside, just stepped up at the right moment to deliver a strike.
Yeah, not only that, here he is right here, a play action pass. He steps up, feels the pressure, pass him by, and still able to find a receiver downfield. Sometimes quarterbacks can get out of the way, get out of trouble, but have trouble. They usually wind up sometimes running with the ball instead of keeping their eyes down the field and looking for the open receiver.
Looks like the Raiders are going to be deep at backup quarterback this year. Rankin stopping in the hole, going wide, then cutting back inside. And he picks up 3 yards, 2nd and 7 coming up. So behind Jamarcus, Tom, you've got Jeff Garcia, who's still pretty good at 39. Bruce Gradkowski, who has made some starts in this league, and also Charlie Fry.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you're not going to carry 4, I don't think. Jeff, the one thing about Jeff, everybody's kind of excited to watch him play, but Jeff's had a lot of injury problems the last few years, so that's always going to be an issue.
And as you get older, and I know it was in my case, as you get older, as a quarterback, 39, 38, 40, you tend to get hurt more. It's just the nature of your body taking a beating.
Carpenter, a blitz up the middle, throws, and a catch made for a near first down at the 20-yard line. That is Brandon Myers. Again, and they blitz Bobby Carpenter. 4th-year linebacker from Ohio State has been blitzing a lot tonight. Raiders picked it up, and Fry able to hit the rookie tight end Myers, who's had a very nice game as well.
Well, one impressive thing about both these quarterbacks, Gradkowski and so far Fry, is that they stand in the pocket. They're tough in the pocket. They step up. They're patient, and their eyes are down the field.
There's Jeff Garcia, who made a Pro Bowl in Tampa Bay 3 times with the 49ers. Also had a great year filling in for an injured Donovan McNabb a few years ago in Philadelphia. Flags all over the field. Again, Mike Carey threw it, so it's likely a hold here on the Raiders. 25 seconds to go in a Raider-dominated 3rd quarter.
Holding, offense number 82. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It's on Darryl Strong, a backup tight end. Seth Wand is down and apparently injured. He is trying to get up. He's on to one knee now, but he's having a hard time getting up. Now finally to both feet. He's saying to the training staff and Scott Touche, "Don't come out, I'm all right," but Scott's already out there. Raiders just re-signed Seth Wan with the injury to Khalif Barnes. Barnes broke a left ankle up in training camp, and he's going to be out a couple of months, so Seth Wan was brought back. Raiders with this penalty will be out to around the 29-yard line with 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Raiders look good. Their first team played well tonight. Jamarcus had some good moments. Chaz Schillens was outstanding. McFadden broke a 45-yard run. Michael Bush looked good. Then Bruce Gradkowski came in time, and they just took off. And now
they're not going to run a play, I don't think, Greg. They're going to take the clock all the way down into the fourth quarter.
Well, that will be the end of the third quarter. Last 15 minutes of today's game are brought to you by Geico. How much could you save? 15 minutes could save you 15%. And visit Geico at geico.com. We're back at the fourth quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. For a game, a huge American flag was unfurled right in the middle of the field. Nice gesture by the Raiders to the Oakland Police Department of all they're going through. Nick Miller trying to connect on a slant route there, but a little bit overthrown just slightly on the coverage of Mike Mickens. Valerie Fry may have gotten his fingers dinged up the way he's holding his hand there. He may have hit a helmet on the follow through. Second and 20 coming up, just underway in the fourth quarter. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, and Jim Plunkett on hand in the booth. Bringing you the preseason opener. We'll bring you all 4 Raider preseason games. JT, the Brick, and George Atkinson downstairs. We'll be across the bay in San Francisco next Saturday, a week from Saturday. New Orleans will be in on the 29th, but we wind it up in Seattle. There's a throw over the middle of John Paul Fasci. Broken up by Bobby Carpenter. That time he did not blitz. He dropped in the coverage. A flag is down on the play. How many times have I said that tonight, Coach?
A lot of flags. Lots of flags.
Illegal formation, offense. An eligible man was covered up by an eligible man. The penalty is declined. They're down.
The wide receiver's going to back off a little bit on that side, huh?
Yeah, you can't cover. You cover up too many guys on the end of the line of scrimmage, then you make them ineligible. The only guy you can cover is a tackle.
Although this is not unusual for the first preseason games to have a lot of penalties. In fact, the Raiders this week in training camp brought up a officiating crew, a full crew, and the penalties the first day of that practice were like 9, and then the next day they dropped it down to 2, so they have been trying to get used to it. Here's a blitz up the middle. Charlie Fry gets away, and now under pressure still, and he throws it away. He got way outside. Now once you get outside the tackle box, you can throw it away. He was under siege right away. Jason Williams came on a linebacker blitz right in the middle. Justin Rogers also came. And Fry able to get out of there and avoid the sack, but it is 4th and 20. The Raiders will punt the football away.
Yeah, a field goal from this area, Greg, would kicking on the dirt. You know, Janikowski is kind of used to it a little bit, but you know, with another kicker, that would be a little tougher.
It's not 76 yards. I've seen one of those. Seabass tried a 76-yard field goal last year.
The Raiders have some confusion. They had to burn a timeout.
Oakland, they're second.
And that happens a lot on special teams in particular.
All right, timeout Raiders, 31 seconds into the fourth quarter. Raiders up 24-10 over Dallas on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. All right, the Raiders have Ricky Schmidt into training camp to lessen the load on Janikowski and Lechter. He will punt here, left-footed punter. Out of Shepherd College. The Niners had him in their training camp a year ago, trying to pooch this inside the 10. And he has done it. And they can down it. Tyvon Branch. Actually, Nick Miller. Nick Miller got down there and downed it as a gunner. Nice punt there by Ricky Schmidt. As we go downstairs and check in with JT the Brick.
Thank you, Greg, for the 6th consecutive season up in Napa. The Raiders had a little international flavor. 6 coaches from around the world came to training camp to observe the Raiders and coach Tom Cable and his staff. They include Marcus Krause from Austria, Robert Balanik from Austria, Alex Adamo from Sweden, Jose Antonio Mananvieta from Mexico, Fernando Maniega Lagarda from Spain, and Mel Martin from Australia. Greg, try pronouncing those names 3 or 4 times. Back to you. These guys are having a blast.
You nailed it, didn't you, guys?
I think so.
Good job. Very well done, JT. And saw those guys up in training camp throughout the last couple of weeks, and they've learned a lot of football. Ryan Boschetti got in there and made the tackle out of the University of Washington, and a 5-year member of the Washington Redskins, who's a guy with a high motor running around and making a lot of plays tonight. Grayson Gunheim has come in, number 97 as well. Gunheim had his first NFL quarterback sack last year on the final play of the game in Tampa against Jeff Garcia to secure that come-from-behind win of the finale. 2nd and 10, Cowboys on the 7. They'll bring up a 3rd down as Lattimore on the carry for the Dallas Cowboys. Tackle made by Isaiah Ekajuba, who was a Pro Bowl alternate this past year with his great work on special teams.
Keon Lattimore, a gain of 6 to the 13.
Well, the Raiders are solid on special teams. Obviously, with Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Lecter, they have the 2 most powerful legs in pro football. He's got Tyvon Branch back. He was hurt last year, but looks like a great gunner. Isaiah Ekajuba is running around making plays. John Fossil is the Raiders' new special teams coach this year, the son of Jim Fossil. There's a pump and a throw out left by McGee, a little high, incomplete. Nice coverage there by Justin Miller on Kevin Ogletree, and the Cowboys must punt. Nice defense by Justin Miller, the former New York Jet. Well, he had an exciting half year as a Raider as he took over as a kickoff return man and ran back 2 returns last year.
2 returns in a very short period of time. Yeah, he was a threat right off the bat.
Johnny Lee Higgins had 3 punt return scores. All-time Raider record, even better than George. George had 2 in 1 year. Nice high punt here by McBriar. Nick Miller, what do you got on returns from the 30-yard line? Makes 1 guy miss. Dancing middle makes a 2nd miss. And that's an outstanding return by Nick Miller, who was a terrific special teams player at Southern Utah. Isaiah Stanback on the tackle of Miller. Raiders will take it when we come back. 12:43 to play. Raiders up 2 touchdowns on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Rod Woodson last Saturday became the 18th Raider to be inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Final 2 years as a Raider. There's Charlie Fry, a throw and a catch. And a Raider first down. Then is Sammy Parker, the former Kansas City Chief, with an 18-yard gain. Rod Woodson, a Raider in 02 and 03, was instrumental in the Raiders' 02 march to a Super Bowl. 18th Raider to go into the Hall of Fame. I'm up here in the booth with a couple of guys who should already be in. 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Raiders, Jim Plunkett, and 2-time Super Bowl winning head coach of the Raiders, Tom Flores. Tim Brown is eligible for induction next year for the first time, as is Jerry Rice. Fry, a loop down the sideline and broken up. He was trying to hit Sean Bays. Nice coverage there. Bays has looked good in training camp as well. Oakland Raiders beginning their 50th season of preseason football. Want you to be a part of it all year. Call 1-800-RAIDERS. They're online at Raiders.com. They have all different type of ticket packages and be a part of the suite deal. Plunkett watches all the games up in the suites, don't you, Jim?
Sometimes, yeah, pretty much.
Well, Tom and I are working here in our own personal suite. You are in a lap of luxury, the great luxury suites here at the Coliseum. Quick throw out, a juggle, but a catch is made by Darryl Strong, the tight end. Nice play there for a short gain of 2 yards.
Jim's in there in those suites. They're eating hot dogs. Well,
we're eating our hot dogs in our booth.
Yeah, we're eating our good hot dogs. His are better than ours.
I get very nervous watching these guys play. And,
do you? So you have to eat
the food is my substitute, you know. Calm my nerves down.
But those suites are great, aren't they? The fans should be more involved. What a way to watch Raider football.
It's a great way. You got instant replay. You got more than one TV in most suites. It's a fun time.
3rd and 8, Charlie Fry. They're showing blitz off the corner. Seth Vaughn back in, points it out. The Raider left tackle. Fry steps up in the pocket, throws out right through the hands of Darryl Strong. Good pass there by Fry. A little hot for Strong to handle, but he feels the pressure well stepping up in the pocket.
Yes, he does. He steps up in the pocket. As we both mentioned, Jim and I both, their eyes are down the field. They're not looking to run. They're looking to buy some time and find an open receiver. And in most cases, they have. That time, that ball should have been caught.
You know, and both these kids, both Grodowski and Fry, you know, Akron, Toledo, small schools, yet they found their way into the NFL.
I wonder if they played against each other in college. You know, that's not too far from Toledo and Akron.
I'll ask him this week, and we'll report on Saturday from Candlestick. Willie Reed back in to return this punt from Ricky Schmidt. Reed, a fair catch. He will take it and fumble it. And the Raiders should have it on the 10-yard line. Willie Reed let that ball get into his body off the shoulder pads. The Raiders recover. Looked like David Nixon recovered the fumble.
Ball was muffed by receivers, recovered by Oakland. First down.
And it was John Kondo, the long snapper, who got down there, did not interfere with Reed, but I think he forced Reed to take his eye off the ball because he was hovering right over him, and Reed let the ball come into his body, and he fumbled it. Well, the Raiders with their second takeaway of the game. Earlier pick by Michael Huff. There's Charlie Fry. Quick throw out left. A tight one into coverage and caught by Will Franklin. Nice ball there. Delivered by Charlie Fry. We mentioned Sammy Parker, a former Kansas City Chief, and so was Will Franklin.
Yeah, but you mentioned earlier about all these coaches and how long they've been in the league and coaching quarterbacks. With Paul Hackett and Ted Tollner, that's an awful lot of offense you got there in those two heads. Working with these quarterbacks each and every day.
Both former head coaches at USC. There's Gary Russell taking it down to the 2-yard line. Ted Tollner's been around forever in high school, college, and the pros. Also head coach at San Diego State. He's going to run just a passing game, John. They wanted someone to come in, and that's the big area the Raiders have to improve offensively. The running game's pretty good. If they can improve the passing game, this offense could be pretty good.
Well, that's one thing that I think Tom Cable felt he needed to improve is the overall theory of the passing game.
It's Ted Tollner on the left of your screen, and John Marshall on the right. Marshall, the new defensive coordinator, and Tollner, the passing game coordinator. They're going to call a fade route here for Franklin. Touchdown, Raiders! Beautifully thrown by Charlie Fry. A beautiful fade route to the back corner of the left end zone, and what a throw and catch. They made that look easy.
Yeah, they sure did. They made it look easy, and the defender just got kind of mixed up. He slowed down and allowed Fry to catch him. Allowed Franklin to catch the ball.
He was also interfering, wasn't he?
Well, I'm not sure who pushed who, but they were both shoving a little bit, and he just pulled up and let him get behind him.
Michael Hawkins was beaten on that play, and he grabbed him. There's Schmidt for the point after. 31-10 Raiders. 9:45 to play. The Raiders' ones outplayed their ones. Their twos outplayed their twos. And now their third stringers are outplaying the boys' third stringers. 9:45 to play on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Welcome back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Charlie Fry has played very well since coming into the game. He's 6 of 11 for 57 yards. Ted Tollner, first night out as the Raider new passing game coordinator's got to be happy. Bruce Gradkowski was 9 of 16 for 153 and a score. Fry 6 of 11 for 67. Russell played well, 6 of 9 for 50. 14 different guys have caught a football tonight, boys. That's incredible. Raiders have outscored Dallas 21-3 in the second half. Ogletree wrapped up by Derek Brown. And he pulls Brown. He was trying to strip the ball away all the way out across the 40 up to around the 44-yard line. A 38-yard kickoff return there by Ogletree. Lewis Rankin, the running back, in on the tackle on special teams. That'll help his quest to make the team.
Whatever you can do to make this team, he knows that the position that he's in is it's going to be a tough position to make the football team one.
Yeah, along with running back as deep as it is, I think this is the most receiving depth I've seen on this team in a long time.
Yeah, they all have pretty good speed.
And they are young. First and 10 Cowboys on their own 43. There's a counter handoff to Keon Lattimore. Sam Williams trying to swing that out. May have been held, and John Bowie will make the tackle. Well, the Raiders are tweeting. The whole world is, but if you want Raider information, follow the Raiders on Twitter at twitter.com/OakRaiders. Raiders do give you a lot of stories. Transactions occur. You want to be on Twitter. They will very often put it on Twitter before anywhere else. So you've got to get tweeting if you want to follow the Raiders. Twitter.com/OakRaiders. 2nd and 6 Cowboys. Play action. McGee going to roll out wide right. Being chased by Gunheim. Throws and a catch and a first down into Raider territory. And then Scott Chandler, the former San Diego Charger tight end. And a nice pickup there. Isaiah Ekajuba in on the play. A flag is down, a penalty here.
Ineligible member of the passing field, downfield, number 77. 5-yard penalty is still second down.
Well, that play took a long time, Greg and Jim. Took a long time to develop. The quarterback held the ball, and the lineman probably felt he was going to run, so he took off down the field to pick up a block.
Pat McQuiston was called for that penalty. That is the twin brother of the Raiders, Paul McQuiston.
I was watching him in pregame warm-up, and it's pretty hard to tell the difference. I mean, they both, you know, their mannerisms and the way their stance, everything looks identical.
Are they identical or fraternal?
I don't know, but they sure look the same with a football uniform.
I would guess identical because they look identical. Second down 11. Lattimore breaking tackles. Boyd will not run him down until he's to the Raider 40-yard line. Shifty run there by Keon Lattimore. Pat McQuiston actually did not play football at Weber State. I was talking to Paul in the Raider locker room before the game about it. And he didn't play his first 2 years, and Paul kind of talked his twin brother into coming out. And they composed the whole left side of the line at Weber State.
Yeah,
Paul McQuiston was the left tackle, and his brother played left guard. Heard of a student body left. How about McQuiston body left? First and 10 Cowboys with 8 to play in the game. Raiders up 31-10. There's a handoff to Lattimore. I didn't know the Raiders were winning by that, so I got on Twitter. You go to Twitter.com. It says right now the Raiders lead 31-10 with 8 minutes to play.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Sam Williams in on that tackle. Sam tried to stay healthy and be a contributor out of Fresno State.
Yeah, he's had such bad luck over the years, just one injury after the other.
Seems like, yeah, it does. Seems like every time he's starting to play well, something comes up, and then he has to sit down for a while and get well.
Yeah, he's a good guy, too, out of Clayton Valley High School. There's McGee setting up a screen for Lattimore. And a nice open field tackle there by David Nixon. Nixon, a rookie free agent out of BYU, has played very well in training camp and showing up well here on opening night of the preseason. You mentioned it earlier, and it was Sam Williams making the tackle. He was very close to Marquise Cooper. You mentioned at the end of the first quarter, the Raiders are actually wearing a decal with the numeral 95 on the helmet tonight, and they will all year to honor their former teammate who was lost at sea during the offseason. Just a horrific story. We got to know Marquise late last year, a very good special teams player. There's a throw and a catch by Scott Chandler for a Dallas first down. There's the decal on the back of the helmet.
That was a tragedy. That was just a tragic story. I mean, the whole episode. Here's some guys that, you know,
the illegal shifts. Offense, number 87 and 15 were moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty. They're down.
There was question on why did they go out to sea like they did. Well, obviously they had done that before and gone out fishing. They were not novice fishermen. They knew how to operate a boat. They knew, but then they got turned upside down out to sea, and boy.
In fact, they were out in the very same spot the week before.
Yeah.
And those that got to know Marquise when he was a Raider last year, he talked about fishing constantly. It was his passion, football and fishing, and his family. Third down. Wobbly ball, but a catch is made there. John Bowie trying to pop it out. That was catch made by Manuel Johnson, a round 7 draft pick out of Oklahoma. The Cowboys 13-yard pickup. First down, Dallas with 6 minutes to play here, and they completely Raider-dominated second half. They've outscored Dallas 21-3 in the second half. John Bowie, a 4th-round pick a few years ago. Jerome Boyd, the converted linebacker to NFL safety. McGee going to loop one for the end zone here. Pretty well covered, a flag down. Jason Horton is going to be called for his 3rd penalty of the night. Went deep to Julian Hawkins down the field there, and I guess Horton cut him off.
Well, Horton has got he's putting his arms up in the air like not me, but.
Pass interference. Defense number 27, an armbar from the spot of the foul.
Armbar. Oh.
First down.
Well, he's done everything. One to the face, and one interference, and one armbar. Whatever armbar is. I guess that's when you get the guy's arm caught in yours and hold on to him.
But, you know, sometimes, you know, and I'm not saying this holds true for Horton, but, you know, you can have all the ability in the world, but if you keep making mistakes, that's going to cost you as well.
Yep, there is.
Boyd on the tackle there. Jim, you know all about different types of bars, don't you? Arm
yeah,
bar?
unfortunately I do, yes.
Are you familiar with that?
Sandbar?
Well, the arm bar is where you get your arm. No, I won't even go there. I won't go there.
He didn't extend his arm much, though, did he?
I'm not going to go there.
He may have cut off his pad to the ball, but that was not an arm bar. In any event, it's only the preseason. 2nd down and goal. Cowboys on the Raiders' 6-yard line. Stephen McGee, round 4 draft pick out of A&M. The inside handoff to Lattimore, breaks a tackle, breaks another, drops shy of the goal line though. Dropped out, actually back out of the 3-yard line. We'll see what they spot as forward progress.
We got a guy down in the field though, Greg. I'm not sure. We got several guys on the field. Everybody's
They're both Raiders.
Up. Yeah.
David Nixon appears to be one. Isaiah Ekajuba is the other. Well, Ekajuba's one. Nixon missed the tackle. Shetty is down. He's now getting up. And Nixon was dinged as well. That is Isaiah Ekajuba down. Dr. King is out. Scott Touche and Rod Martin tending to him. We'll take a break here. Raiders up 31-10. 4:30 by Greatness up in the booth. We have Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett. We have JT the Brick and George Atkinson downstairs. Raiders trying to hold the Cowboys out of the end zone here. 4:36 to play in the game. 3rd down and goal for Dallas on the Raider 3-yard line. Raiders up big, 31-10. Spread formation from McGee out of the shotgun. Has Lattimore to his right, 2 receivers left, and 1 right. That is Jesse Holley, by the way, going right. Inside handoff to Lattimore, and he is wrapped up and dropped by Sam Williams. Nicely done by Sam. And we'll see what Wade Phillips does here in a preseason game. Field goal, coach, or go for it on 4th down?
No, I think they're going to go for it. I think they're going to go for it. There's no sense in going for 3 points at this stage. This game, I don't think they feel they can win the game, but they want to make some plays. They want to score a touchdown.
Skip Keith, the longtime Raider running back coach, now the Cowboys running back coach, telling Wade Phillips why that play didn't work. The Raider defensive front with a great push is why. 4th and goal Cowboys. McGee out of the gun. 3 receivers bunched left. And he looks left at a roll right. He can run, he throws, and it is incomplete. The Raiders will take over on downs. He was trying to hit Manuel Johnson in the back of the end zone. The Raiders' 3rd string defense stands tall and keeps the Cowboys out of the end zone.
Nice job. They had just a 3-man rush again. Everybody was dropping back, and there was not a lot of little creases for the receivers to get in, and sometimes inexperience forces you to run right through open areas. But that was well played by the defense.
A little bit of a zone blitz there.
Yeah.
The defensive lineman Ryan Boschetti actually dropped back into coverage and confused the young quarterback.
I think he confused himself. It's kind of funny to see him running after the running back going across it.
Confused everybody. Raiders trying to run out from their own goal line here. That is Gary Russell off the left side.
That's Gary Russell off left guard.
Derek Robinson, a backup defensive lineman, loses his helmet for Dallas.
A 30-second timeout.
Raiders have brought in Jonathan Compass, a USC Davis alum. He's now playing in the interior line. He can play both guard and center. The Raiders are inside the Coliseum for the 2nd time in 5 days. Last Saturday they had their annual Raider Nation celebration. Almost 10,000 fans were here to check out football's fabulous females. The Raiders, a little karaoke machine. And I wonder if they were screaming touchdown Raiders on that. And the Raiders actually had a morning practice up in Napa. It was last Saturday, but Tom Cable brought the whole team back up. They ran through a full practice. A lot of the kids enjoyed it, but the adults had a lot of fun. It's a great day. The Raiders do it every single year. And make sure you're part of it next year. The Raider Nation celebration. And they are celebrating here on the field with a nice performance against the Cowboys. Charlie Fry, a play action, a throw out right. Nice adjustment of the catch man to the run for a 1st down. That is Marcel Reese. There's a good-looking fullback as well, making a very nice adjustment of the ball that was thrown back to the inside, Jim.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that's very important. A little play-action pass. Sometimes that fullback is completely lost out of the backfield, makes a good catch of a ball thrown behind him, gets the first down. And this is just as important as when you get inside the 20 and you're trying to score. You got to be able to get the ball out from underneath your own end zone with a good drive and keep it away from the other team's offense.
Well, there are a lot of ways to evaluate a preseason game. How do your ones do against their ones? How do your twos do against their twos, and third team against their third team? I think the point can be made. The Raiders won all three of those battles tonight. Counter handoff to Russell up the middle, and the Raiders' third team offensive line getting good running power from Gary Russell from behind, and he powers out for 10 yards and a Raider first down.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job coming off the ball, and they've got the Cowboys are on their heels right now, and that offensive line, even the second and third group, they're just coming off pretty good, and that was just a little counter play, and very simple play, but blocked very well.
You know, when I talked to Coach Cable up at training camp a few days ago, you know, he said that the team was leg weary, tired, you know. They certainly didn't show any of that tonight.
First and 10 Raiders out to their 30-yard line. There's a handoff again to Gary Russell straight ahead. And he's out across the 30. He's actually had a very interesting way to begin practice this year. The first 4 days of their training camp was almost a classroom coming to the field as the Cowboys called timeout.
Dallas, their second 30-second timeout.
And this was something that Tom Cable actually thought about before he became the head coach. If he ever became a head coach in the NFL, he would have a training camp, kind of like a pre-camp camp, something they do in college football, where the Raiders, the first 4 days of camp, guys, did not put shoulder pads on at all, did very little hitting. There was almost accentuated extreme footwork drills, and just very methodical. It was fun to watch the way he was able to teach this young team.
Well, you know, we did that way back when I played, and when Al first came, the first 2 days were nothing but meetings, morning, afternoon, and night, and practice on your own in between.
Right.
So that's he's brought back some of that tradition.
Well, it certainly worked. You could see the guys progress when they did put the pads on that ensuing Monday. Counter handoff to Russell coming wide left. He takes a hit. Kind of a hip check there. Was able to pop off of that. And he does pick up the Raider first down there. It was Mickens who laid out a big hit on that play, along with D'Angelo Smith, the defensive back. So that'll take us to the 2-minute warning, and the clock stops with 2:08 to play.
Timeout.
Cowboys called timeout.
Third and final.
Yeah, that's
30 seconds.
Sunday nighter against the San Diego Chargers. Call 1-800-RAIDERS or Raiders.com to get season tickets, all different types of ticket packages they'll talk you through, and also to be a part of the luxury suite package. The Raiders have a great home schedule this year. Again, AFC West they play every year. And the first 3 games this year are all against the AFC West. First time in 20 years that's occurred. They'll be home for San Diego at Kansas City. And week 3, Denver is in on the 27th of September. Russell on the handoff will take us to the 2-minute warning. But then later on, the Eagles come in, the Jets come in, the Bengals come in, the Redskins, and the Ravens. So a great home schedule. 2 minutes to play on opening night of the preseason. 31-10 Raiders all over the Cowboys on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett with our vantage point upstairs. But George Atkinson downstairs. George, anybody stand out from what you've been able to see on the sideline tonight?
You know, what I noticed is the defense overall performance of the defense was impressive. I like the speed of the defense. I like the tenacity of the defense. It's obvious that the experience of John Marshall, who's the defense coordinator, is transferring to these players. And when you look at this defense, it's fast, it's young, it's quick, and they got some skilled players in all the positions. And you know, you look at the stoutness up front, you look at the quickness in the linebackers, and you look at the coverage ability of the secondary and the ability to get to the ball and make plays. This defense can be a tenacious defense this year.
They've done a nice job, George. Thank you downstairs. And boy, John Marshall, he's been coaching for 30 years in the league, guys, but a coordinator. He said 5 previous stops for 12 years combined. He's been a defensive coordinator, so he knows his way around winning defensive football.
Well, he's basically sounds like he's a fundamental guy. Fundamentals are very important. Discipline is very important. That's what you have to have on defense.
3rd and 1 Raiders. One more first down, and this one will be over Hand off to Gary Russell, and Russell will run for a first down, and that will be it. Wade Phillips is out of timeouts. The Raiders will kneel down, and they will get a win. Now, we're talking about the Raider home schedule this year. They open against San Diego, then they go to Kansas City, then they come back home to take on Denver. Now, Michael Vick signed today with the Philadelphia Eagles. The commissioner has said that he will look to reinstate him by the latest week 6, but he could be reinstated earlier. That game against the Raiders comes up week 6 of the NFL schedule, so one way or the other, it appears Michael Vick will be here with the Philadelphia Eagles on October the 18th. The Raiders will run their victory play here. One more kneel down, guys, and they'll have a victory. And boy, a lot of guys played well tonight. DeMarcus was good, McFadden was good, Schillens was very good, Fry was good, Gronkowski was good. A lot of good tonight, wasn't it?
A lot of good plays, a lot of big plays, a lot of solid plays, and especially well, like I was going to say, Jim, with all the young players, but they're all young.
Yeah, pretty much a very young team, except for Greg Ellis, who they got from Dallas. But yeah, a lot of people contributed tonight. I think it was a fun night for them to be out there and be a part of this victory tonight.
Lorenzo Neal's got some years on him as well.
Yeah, he does.
He and DeMarcus Ware exchange handshakes. Darius Hayward-Bay had his moments tonight. Overall, a good Raider performance as the Raiders soundly beat the Dallas Cowboys tonight by a score of 31-10. Now, we'll have more coming your way. Tom Cable is happy, he's smiling. He's got a win in the preseason. We're back with more on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.